Hey guys, what's happening? What's everybody doing this afternoon? Or good morning. I guess it could be good morning for some, good afternoon for others. Should we play our intro or should we just roll right on in it? What do you guys think? You know what? We'll show that girl some love and play it. She did a good job making it, so.
I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Yo, gotta love our intro. That girl did a good job, you guys. If you guys want an intro, you better hit her up. You better hit her up. So anyhow, today we're gonna go over Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2. And I feel like how in the hell are we supposed to know if this is true or not? This is like a Brookie interview. This is like a Jessica with grandma candy hair. This is I feel like how the hell are we supposed to know if these people are real when they don't use their names, their voices, none of that. So it could just be anybody making up a fucking story. And people went after Ikmel hard for somebody that called in on his live stream. So I mean, damn. Let's talk about it, you guys, because I feel like what's going on is what's up, Salty? How's it going, man? Hold on, Nancy says, pecan pie. Sorry for the late response. I'm mostly looking down, crocheting, knitting, and not looking at chat, but thanks. Well, you know what? My aunt does a lot of crocheting and knitting and stuff like that. She does a really good job. Hey, Buttercup. What's up, girl? Okay, so how many of y'all think we should believe this? How many of you guys believe the? Oh shit! We got some notes and writing stuff down, girl. So are they credible? Are they not credible? What's happening, baby?
What's up? Can you hear me good?
Cappy in the house.
What up? What up? What up? What up? I got the fan on because it's fucking hot in here. I hope it's not too much noise.
It's like hot and muggy here.
Yeah, it's not the heat wave is over, but it's still, summer, fall, so it's still kind of hot. But I'm just hot all the time. But okay, so listen. Here's the thing. I understand them not disclosing their information due to all these people that call themselves adults that act like rabid fucking wannabe detectives, okay? But still that leaves us with, we don't know who this person is. Like when I listened to the interview, it sounded like a young person that might have been at the party, but there's some like things she said, like about the rain and stuff, that didn't make sense. I don't know. One big thing I have, Queen, is that why do all these girls keep going to Olivia? Because everybody and their mom's been reaching out to them. Why have kids only gone to Olivia? Does that make sense to you? Do you know what I mean?
No, it doesn't. That's the thing. Why is it that they only go to Olivia? Yeah, that's right. That is true. I don't understand. Bobby, hold on. Bobby Cash at number 2 sounds like Elsa.
Elsa is Elsa's the one girl, right? Because she's on TikTok, you think, voices?
You think that's why? Because she's on TikTok?
And she's like cute and young or something? I don't I don't know. Try to figure it out. Seems kind of weird. Nenny's like from Frozen. Oh.
Well, come up and let's discuss Voice for the Voiceless. Number 2 sounded like Sammy, in my opinion, but Sammy's already came out and talked and shown her face. Don't you think she would again? Or do you think she would do it like a Jane Doe style?
I don't think it sounded like Sammy, but yes, I'm in a wind tunnel.
Tim said, is Cappy in a wind tunnel or by a certain lake? Quickly call Ryan. We found another person in the conspiracy.
Oh no. Yeah, Buttercup's young and pretty. Go talk to her. No, not Sammy. Olivia has a history of fabricating evidence, so yeah, that makes her sus automatically. Please help me, Facebook. I agree.
Okay, Jessie says, according to her, she says that she knows how to talk to them and she builds up a friendship and not just ask for info immediately.
Oh God, I can't with this.
She's an international super spy.
Obviously, she's everything we're not. So, anyways, I cannot with that, Jess. I can't. You know what, Buttercup? I was thinking that.
Hold on one sec.
We probably shouldn't do it publicly, though.
Do you want to come up with your camera on? Here, I'll put an overlay just in case. I don't know if you want to leave it on. That's fine if you do. And if you don't,
I turned it off.
No, I'm talking not you. There's a girl backstage too, and I just didn't know if she wanted to leave her camera on just in case. I don't know.
Sorry.
Leave it on. That's fine if you do. And if you don't,
I turned it off.
Oh, you got to pause your YouTube because you're getting double feedback. So, Terry, I'm going to tell you. Oh, you got to pause. So I muted you. I'm going to keep you muted for right now, okay? Because you have feedback. You need to turn off your YouTube. Close out of your YouTube app. Close it out. Okay, yep. There you go. Perfect. Now we got you. Okay, now do you want to leave your camera on or would you like to turn it off?
What should I do?
It's up to you. I have the screen up so no one can see your face.
I'll turn it off.
Okay, it's completely up to you. Okay, There we go. All right, you're up here with us and you're good to go.
Awesome.
Hey, Queen, I just want to say thank you for doing that. I really appreciate creators that do that, that help walk the people through so that they know how to do that on panels. And I also appreciate that you always put the screen up to give people a chance to turn their cameras off if they don't. So I wanted to say thank you for that. I've been watching
people,
for a while, and I appreciate that.
Well, thank you, because you know what? I think it's really awful when somebody has their camera on and then the creator just flips it right on and people get a screenshot of it and then they use that to their, against them or to their advantage when they weren't ready to begin with. Mm-hmm. And there's some people don't know, they're not prepared and they're not ready. So.
Agreed.
Well, I personally appreciate you for doing that. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate you telling me that because I didn't even think about it like that. Just didn't want to blast.
Okay, Cappy, I got it. Captain Kanapkin, I've got to ask. I've got to ask. It's not Captain, is it?
Oh, I thought you said that on purpose and called her Captain Kanapkin because they were mad. Somebody called her. Go ahead.
It's Captain. It's Captain Napton, but I answered or whatever. Like, I don't care.
Okay. Well, I've always had to ask because I always thought it was Captain Kanapkin.
No, it's just like it's Captain
K is
Napkin.
silent.
It just rhymes with captains. I thought it was funny, like. So I answered either one. I don't get offended by it.
Okay, well, I had to ask because I've always called you Captain Kanapkin.
I totally. I've been hearing it for 5 years, and I'm totally not offended by it. It's okay.
Okay. With Olivia, I think that's part of the reason that she's getting some of these younger kids are because they're on the TikToks and the B Reels and the Snapchat. They don't seem to be over here on Facebook and on YouTube. So I really believe that that's where she's getting some of the people that are coming to her. But that being said, when you obscure and protect their anonymity and their identity, I can understand that. But here's where the problem lies. Then you can only go off of what they say in their statement. And when you find inconsistencies in their statement, i.e., Jane Doe #2 saying it rained all day, and then viewers catch that and they go to Olivia's comments and they put that in there and then it gets deleted, that doesn't bode well for protecting somebody's anonymity and wanting us to take what they say as accurate information.
Right.
Backing on that one too is in Olivia's stream, she showed a map of Prosser Lake, and it showed the sanctuary currently, where they had the party. It showed it in a different spot than where I've seen it on other maps.
It shows that it's like 5 to 7 miles away from where law enforcement said the party was.
Well, right. It shows where the campground is. There's that main road that goes in.
Right.
If you're
and
looking
where
at the
they
map,
were
yeah, if
is
you're
off
looking
to
at
the left of that main road,
yes,
not to the right.
correct.
Like everybody, like law enforcement is showing. These two people are saying that they were off to the left, not to the right.
Correct. And that will make all the difference in her ending up in the lake. Because
absolutely, you're right on that one.
A different route.
And the why that you can clearly see is the why. Yes. They're saying it's coming out of the sanctuary,
yep.
But that's not where the why is, because that's a direct left turn into the sanctuary. Or I'm sorry, if you're going down the hill, it's a direct right turn into it. The why is farther down towards the water.
Right. And in actually the map that she showed, it's like, oh yeah, I could see how she ended up in the water on her own. But that's not reality. She was actually on the other side of the main road, which
well, then that's what comes into question is. But then what comes into question is law enforcement not giving us the right information, or are the kids who's giving the accurate information there?
Right. Exactly. And also, where they're saying where Xana May made her little trip or whatever, it's on the campground side. It's not on the other, and I don't know what to call the other side.
The sanctuary side.
But which side is the sanctuary side for real? We don't know.
Well, that's true. That is true.
That is something to look into. Thoughts, anyone?
Well, yeah, Verna came up here. She's a local, and Verna came up here and she actually showed us the sanctuary and where it was at and said that it was like 50 feet from where Kylie's phone last pinged.
Which direction?
50 yards, yes, 50 yards.
Yes, so it's got to be, it can't be too far from, what'd you say, you said it was on the other side, or did I miss what you just said?
Well, where you've got a main road that goes into the
okay, wait. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you and be rude. I apologize for that.
That's okay.
Verna's here and she said, hey guys, I'm here. Do you want me to come up and help with some maps? Yes, please. Yes. That would help. I think that would help a lot of the people, well, including myself, to figure out where.
Yes.
I was just going to offer to go pull up my laptop and come in on my laptop if needed.
Yeah, that would be good too. Screen share so we have a way to do it. I mean, unless Verna can do it, it's up to you guys. I just can't because I'm on my phone. So it's up to you girls.
Just let me know whatever you need. If you need a laptop, I'll go grab my laptop and start it up. I'm out at the farm, so I haven't turned on anything because I've been playing with horses and gardening and all that fun stuff.
Oh, that's good for the soul.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about that girl when I was out playing with horses earlier.
Aw.
I was remembering what she had said to me and about the simple things and to reconnect and to get back to your roots and all of that. And I was like, oh,
Sometimes
she
you
would be
got
so proud of me.
Sometimes you just gotta breathe. You know, you gotta take a break for a minute.
I think if Verna if she has the maps and she wants to come on, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I dropped the link for you. I apologize, Verna. I'm sorry. I thought it was already down there. I don't know. I thought it was pinned down there. I must not have pinned it.
Queen Bee, look at what I'm looking at.
Oh wow. Here, let me put you on here. Look the solo layout. Wow, look at that.
I'm out at the farm.
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
So the horses are off over here. There's the garden, and way off in the distance are the Bighorn Mountains. So it's just a really gray, cloudy day here. So
yeah, that's beautiful.
I'm sitting here. I got the dogs, and we're just bumming it today. So we've been bumming it all week. But anyway, yeah, there you go.
Well, hey, sometimes you have to do that.
I wish I had a farm.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I could go do that.
You can come stay with me. There's lots of room. Come on out.
I'll be
Make
there
sure
in
that
5
you
minutes.
bundle. Okay, make sure you bundle up. It's only about 62 degrees here today, so make sure you bring warm clothes.
Yeah, 62 degrees is freezing for me, but I love it because I'm always hot.
Well, then you should come to Wisconsin because it's going to snow here pretty soon.
Oh my God, I'm so afraid of snow. I get so damn cold. Like literally, last time I went to the snow, well, technically I've been to the snow in Big Bear, California, but out of state snow, like where it's really fucking cold and snowing. Last time I went, like I wore like 8 layers and I'm not even playing around. And my friends were like laughing at me. And my friends that live out in the Midwest now used to live out here. And they used to be the same way, but like you adapt and you get used to it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And when I was coming back home through Denver airport, because I went to Nebraska where there was like a major cold front. It was like in 2005, like a long time ago. And then I went to Colorado to see another friend that was also from LA that had moved. And coming back through, they randomly chose me to go through all my stuff. And they made me take off every freaking layer of clothing except for my first layer. It was crazy. I was so annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
That's awful.
Hello, Verna. How are you?
I am good. How are you guys?
Good. Thank you for coming up.
Hi, Verna.
Hi. So I got to be honest. I didn't watch the find the video or whatever it was. The Jane Doe video. I'm not sure what she said.
It's basically their account of the party or whatever. One of them said it was pouring down rain. It was really wet. You live there. Can you confirm or deny this? Like, or confirm or deny? Can you confirm or let us know if it was like pouring down rain that night?
No, not that night. A day or two later it was.
Right. A day or two later it was raining. It was warm and sunny. Now, there's another thing to think about. Kylie was supposed to go to Hot August Nights with her mom and stepdad.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So did mom and stepdad still go ahead and go to Hot August Nights?
Yes.
And they were coming home maybe around the same time Kylie would have been coming home?
I think I saw somewhere where she came back around 9 or 10.
Okay, so Hot August Nights was earlier in the evening.
Yeah. It kind of winds down probably about 9:30, 10.
Interesting.
Just a bunch of classic cars. You know, everybody walks around and looks at them. Yeah.
Well, but this is something that we've never actually figured out, because everybody talks about where was she between 6 and 9.
Probably not at Hot August Nights because it's quite a drive. It's like 40 minutes.
Yeah, from Reno to Truckee.
Right. To where she was at, yeah. I mean, she could have, but she wouldn't have stayed long.
Well, there's that one picture of her with some kids, and she's at a table, and it looks like she has a beer, but it might be like a root beer, like a Henry Weinhard's root beer or something.
Right.
She looks like she's at like a restaurant in the city or something. And I don't see them like serving her there. You know what I mean? But I don't know where
that night.
I believe it was supposed to be earlier that day. And it kind of looked like from the outside lighting that it could have been early evening, like maybe before they took off to the party. I don't know. I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% on that picture, but I've heard people say it was from that date, but I don't know for sure. You know.
I know there's lots of outdoor restaurants in Truckee, so yeah.
How about the location of where the sanctuary is?
So you go in from the main paved road, and that's kind of like what AWP they're kind of confused because of this, but you go in from the main paved road, and then there's actually 2 campgrounds to the left on the main paved road.
Okay.
And then you take this really obscure, weird dirt road to the right. And if you keep going on that dirt road, you go to the water. But there's a right-hand turn that takes you up to the sanctuary. And the sanctuary is huge. It's ginormous, and it's isolated. And even the people at the campground couldn't see, probably barely hear anything. So yeah, it's day use. It's no camping, but I don't think there's anybody out there that patrols. I've never seen anybody anyway.
So is it straight back from where she went in, or is it off to? Is it on the other side of the road?
Road? If you look at that little river, kind of thing, the inlet. So the campground, if you're facing from like the main paved road, the campground's on the left and the sanctuary's on the right. And they're both kind of on little rises, little hills.
Okay.
So and they're just opposite of each other, and there's like a draw in between.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of trees surrounding them. It's quite a big area, so you can't really see anything. And it's far enough to where you couldn't hear anything, I don't think. So yeah, but Doug was talking about it's not a wrong turn road. It's a nice paved road. You don't just go off in the dirt and not know. But he wasn't coming from the sanctuary. He couldn't have taken that motorhome up there. There's no way. So I don't think he's seen where the party site was to the water.
No,
I don't think he was figuring from the paved road to the water.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's where the confusion comes in, and I think that's where a lot of people are making their they're going off of that as to, okay, how did she get in the water?
Yeah, people are putting way too much stock in what AWP says, and I think it's super important that everybody hears what Verna just said about taking that RV and their whole like tow setup out there, because I feel like they're putting way too much stock in what AWP says. They're not locals. They have an expertise in that one thing, and they're awesome for that, but they're not investigators and they're not locals. So like them saying a lot of what they say really stirs up these crowds of people in these chats.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
I agree with that.
It's very upsetting.
Even me, but, I was thrown for a loop, when I heard it.
Oh, I was too, girl. I was too when they first were like, "This has got to be foul play." Like after first seeing the video, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I really had to pick it apart and be like, "Okay, pull yourself back, think about this logically." Like, sure, there could still be something that happened, but like that, the one thing that I just take huge issue with is all the finger pointing and like what they're doing to the young people. Like,
100%.
I was just in a chat before this, and I was actually not chatting, but I was watching, and all these people are like, they're not kids, they're adults, they're young adults who are just starting out their lives, and any age doesn't deserve false allegations over their head and to get death threats. Nobody deserves that. That's ridiculous.
For sure.
My
And I
problem.
think, oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, Verna, I want you to talk. You're local. I would rather hear what you have to say than I say anything.
You know, the only thing that changed my opinion of the whole AWP situation was going to right where they showed the tow truck driver met up with this couple. It's public. There are campers within a few feet. It's like the road right where the sign is that they showed in the video. You could barely fit 2 cars there. I don't know how he even pulled over to like film their car, but either way, there's 2 roads that come in and out where everybody has to pass. It's right off the main road. But if you go directly across the street or up the road a little ways, it's totally isolated. So if you were going to do any kind of foul play whatsoever, why would you go there in such a public place? It's the most, in Boca, it's one of the most popular campgrounds there is. There's nothing you could hide there. If you had any kind of bad intention, you would not go there. It doesn't make sense at all why they were there in that specific place. So
Well, and
that
here's one
changed
of the
a lot.
here's one of the videos that I had gotten from you. I believe it's of the sanctuary. I'm gonna go ahead and play it real fast. It's only like 20 seconds, but
Now that looks like the party place.
It is.
That looks more like the party place than any other person has shown us.
Yeah, that's the party place.
Wow.
For sure. Like I
You
know
want
for
me
a
to-
fact.
So
that's where the
is
party is.
okay, so my question is, law enforcement said she was at Prosser Campground. Could they have said that? And could the sanctuary be considered part of Prosser Campground?
I don't know. No, it's totally separate. It doesn't have a name. You know, it doesn't have an official
It has
name.
the sanctuary name. That's what the locals know it by. Okay.
Yeah. It's just day
I was
use.
just curious if maybe like it was just a matter of like the wording because locals call it one thing, but the map says it's something different. We have that here where I live. Locals
Right.
call, we call one butte like Squaw Butte and it's called something else now on the map.
Right.
Just the
I
way
think it might
works
be
out
just for location. You know, to tell people where they're. The whole place could be considered a campground, but you can only camp in 2 areas. I don't know. Maybe just for location.
Interesting.
Somebody kind of like
It's
Verna's kind of coming in echoey. Is it just me?
She got kind of real quiet.
I heard it too. It was just like a quick feedback.
And knowing that now makes me think about it completely different.
knowing what? That it's called something else?
No, I'm sorry. I knew what I meant in my head. Knowing the actual location of the sanctuary just makes more sense.
Yeah, and they go there a lot. Like, I mean, the kids know it. I've never been, of course. My kids are in between the ages, but not that I would let them, but I mean, even when I went back like a few weeks later after they found her and everything, there's still cans all over and everything. They're still partying there. So it's a popular spot.
Yeah, they said from my understanding they party there almost every weekend. they haven't just, this accident, or well, with the incident, we'll say, with Kylie, hasn't stopped him from my understanding.
Just the vibe I've been getting is that the kids and the parents feel it's an accident. I know when I was hanging out with Dad, he can't understand how it happened, but he's still in the mindset that it was an accident. I'm sure that's what he's been told. I mean, he told me he can't say, they haven't told him anything is what he told me, but of course he had to say that. But he just says, I can't understand how she ended up in the water. I've never been that drunk. How did she end up here? He's still searching for answers.
And he probably always will, like, it's sad, but you know what I would really like to see an overview, like, map, okay, like where Sanctuary is and where her car was, and like, because I kind of think I have an understanding of, like, what you're saying, like debunking what Doug from AWP said. Like, he's saying that it's not like some hard right turn to where she just made some wrong turn, like she was on the other side, so it makes sense that she drove around and then ended up in the wrong area.
You know what, like, I just got to thinking? What if she was so used to being at Prosser, not the Sanctuary, she come out, made a right-hand turn, and ended up straight into the water, instead of making a left out of there to go back to the main highway? If it were just opposite of where she were used to going, given if you were inebriated, you could easily make a right for a left and think you were headed one direction and head the other way.
Oh yeah, there's no markers. There's no landmarks.
And there's no street lights out there, anything like that.
Nothing, pitch black. Even if she was hugging the right-hand side, she might not have even realized she turned. Because it's a wider open area. So if you're hugging the right-hand side, not paying attention, I mean, you might not even realize you've turned. So, I don't know.
Where I live, it's a lot like that, because we don't have, I mean, like when I leave the farm to drive to town, there isn't a street light one. It's only my headlights. And maybe, house lights off the main highway. So absolutely. That's really easy to do.
Oh yeah, I totally see how she did it. You cannot see anything. There's nothing. Even standing next to the water. And she's above the water, like on a hill. That's what I was trying to convey to everybody. Like, your lights are not going to shine and hit the water because you're above it.
You're above it, so your lights are going to shine out over the water.
Right, and to the other bank, which looks like it continues.
And you're not going to realize what's there. That makes perfect sense.
And once you get over that crest, once you just barely go over that little bit of a hill that you don't even know you're on, you can't stop. And you can't turn around.
Well, in your video that you did, like, that road is hella crazy rough.
Yeah, but it is all the way from the party. So it's not like it changes.
And you wouldn't have been able to go, like, more than 15, 20 miles an hour, because otherwise you would have been scraping bottom. You would have been, you could have ripped an oil pan off, broken an axle if you hit one of those bumps too hard. Anything like that.
And she's only been driving for about 6 weeks, about a month and a half. That's what Dad said. She hasn't had her car that long.
So she's only been driving 6 weeks. Well, that's an inexperienced driver. Okay, you guys, wouldn't this have been a much healthier style to start this off with, rather than, her friends OD'd her, tied her up, put her in the back, and dumped her in the lake? Wouldn't this have been a much healthier way to go?
Yeah, but that's the true crime community for you. They always want some dirty, crazy details to make like it's some murder mystery fun for them. Like, it's always like this. It's so crazy.
Well, might I suggest that they get one of those murder mystery games, and they can grab their buddies and they can all do it together on a private live stream where it doesn't have to impact innocent people's lives?
Those
Get
are
a
fun.
goddamn game of
Voices.
Clue or something, you know?
Voices, I have a quick question. Are you by the computer by chance? Can you pull it up real fast? I'm gonna have Verna did a night drive. She did it on us, like she did it on my channel, and she did it on hers as well. There's also a drive that she did from the sanctuary too, where Kylie's car was found. I think it would be good to play those. Is there a way to pull it up and play Verna's videos?
I have a map. Can I share my screen quick?
Absolutely.
I am starting my laptop right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was just waiting on anybody to be able to share their screen or whatever. I need to start saving up for a laptop. I just don't have the money to buy one right now. So I'll get there someday, you guys. But for right now, you just have to bear with me.
Queen, what I would strongly recommend doing is going out and picking one and putting it on a Walmart wish list, or going out and looking at Amazon and putting it on an Amazon wish list. Because a lot of people, I'm going to tell you, a lot of people would rather purchase you something than spend the money, because you've got silent watchers that believe in what you do. Now, I will also tell you guys,
I feel like people could spend their money more like on donating to families and like Kylie's family or GoFundMe's or people that need it, or you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like
I know. You're like that, but it's like, I think that you should do an Amazon wish list. I think that would be a good idea.
Queen, I have an Amazon wish list, and we all know how I feel about all this stuff. But I put things on my Amazon wish list that are for my business, as well as things that are going to benefit me on YouTube. So I would really like you to reconsider that, because I know what you do out here, and I know that people really enjoy what you do. And I think that if you could, if people came together and helped you with a laptop, I think it would make your channel even more successful than what it already is.
Yeah, and I think that like people that say like have problems with creators getting money, it's like whatever. That's how I feel. Like whatever, at least you're not over here like exploiting and like
you're not pimping the tragedies.
Yes, like you're not pimping the tragedies.
And we'll get there. Let's. Is your screen up, baby doll? You got your screen up there? Okay.
Yeah, but I don't see
it. No, I see it. It's okay. I got you. It's on there now. There we go. There we go.
So is this what it looks like? The sanctuaries?
Okay, is there a way to get it bigger? Here, let me see. Full screen layout. There we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's better.
Perfect.
Yeah, but I think it's a little bit bigger.
I was under the assumption that it was over here, the sanctuary. I'm sorry, where it says Prosser Family Campground. You guys can't see oh yeah, you can see my mouse.
Yeah, I think we all were, but there were a bunch of people there.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
So you got to realize those are both kind of very hilly, they're not flat.
Well, it's a definite decline down to the water. You can see that that's a downward hill. And you can clearly see where the road lies at the end of that red line.
Yeah, right here.
Well,
there's the
Y. At the end of the red line, you can't really go right and get to the water because it's washed out.
But if you come this
way,
it's
really hard to do. So it almost goes straight. It feels like you're going straight at that Y.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like a turn.
I wonder because, and I don't know if everybody else has heard it, if it's true or not, but they were saying that some kids had pulled up to this intersection here and blocked it.
Which intersection?
Where this is right
they
here.
threw a log in the road.
Was it here?
They said that you couldn't, in that video, in Olivia's video, Jane Doe #2 said that they had to walk back up to the highway where they where they parked, and they had to walk around a kid who had thrown a log in the road and wasn't letting everybody leave out the sanctuary. And during that time, while they were walking back up to their car, no cars left the party and passed them. They walked it in dark.
That is a long walk for one, and for two, there is only one real way out of that sanctuary. So depending on where they put the log, everybody would be stuck. But I don't know why they would. There's not really. I don't know where they would have parked. That's like by a paved road. Is that what it says? Is that what they walked to, a paved road, or what?
Yes, they walked up. The girl. Yeah, they walked all the way up to where those trees are, where the red line starts.
Up here.
Queen, if you drop the link, I'll come in on my laptop and I can play whatever videos you want me to play going forward.
So there's not really I guess way at the beginning by 89, there's kind of an open area where you can park, but it's a heck of a walk. It's a 5-minute drive just from the sanctuary to the water. So it's quite a walk in the dark.
And they also said that there were kids that missed the turn to the sanctuary, so they parked all the way down by the water and then walked up because one of her friends brought 2 kids walking up with them to the party.
Yeah.
That would make sense, but that would mean they're probably parked literally where she went down.
Down here.
And there were some burn pits. There were some like burned areas, like someone made campfires there. But she would have had to drive past them if she went in the water, unless they were gone. So the paved road itself is just like a 1-lane road, and you can't really pull off because of the sagebrush and the trees. So I don't know. Wouldn't it make sense to have people like parked along the paved road? But I could see where you missed the turn for the sanctuary. It's pretty easy to miss.
And this is the only way in and out. You can't go out this way, huh?
The back way? You can, but it's really washed out and really bad road.
Okay.
But it doesn't take you to 89.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering, because I'm thinking to myself, okay, if she thought she was going this way, she would need to take a left to go up. Okay. Well, I was just wondering.
Yeah, I was gonna say somebody's got feedback. I don't know who muted, but whoever muted got it.
Right.
So yeah, you would have to take a left to go the paved road.
Okay. Yeah, because if she went down this way thinking, okay, I have to take a left to get out.
Yes, Chick Eastwater.
But
it's about the same distance between, if she took a left on the dirt road driving, it's about the same distance hitting the pavement versus hitting the water. Going the other way. So she would have expected dirt road either way she went.
Okay. Because the paved road is way up here, right?
Yeah.
And then it goes this way.
Yeah, it goes up to the campground there.
I'm almost ready to pull the video if you want to watch it.
Yep, I can stop sharing right now.
Which video you got out? Which one you bringing up?
Whichever one you want me to play. I can pull up 1, 2, or any other clips that you want me to. I just wanted to make sure that I'm ready to go for whatever you want me to pull. What video do you want up? Where is Verna's night drive? Is it on your channel? Uh-oh.
Sorry. I'm here. If you do the day drive, it might explain the night drive better.
Okay, where is that video at? Do you know, Verna?
It's on Verna Coy.
Okay.
Well, and I don't know if she'll strike or not. So, I mean, I have notes. I have stuff wrote down. Like, okay, hold on. I got somebody in the back that wants to come up too. Let me cover this real quick.
I meant Verna's video, Queen, not.
Oh yeah, Verna's. Yeah, she's. I'll send you the link. Give me 1 second, and I'll link you to it now. Give me just one sec. Okay, so let's see here. You're up on panel, Ellie.
Oh, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Are you guys still talking about that turn? Because somebody explained it so well to me. And if you once you bring up the thing, I could show you. There's like a gully that she would have taken if you bring it up. I can explain it because it really like helped me kind of see the accident, which was so hard for me to see for so long. Just
That's
and
awesome.
but it's and I could show you the. I mean, he explained it so well, but I could explain it the best way I can because it kind of really helped me move on a little bit from all this because it was I couldn't sleep but then he showed me this. If you bring up the maps, I'll like come back in. My dog's barking, so I'm gonna mute.
Okay. Is there Terry, can you bring that map back up for a minute? Do you have a way to okay.
Yeah.
That way she can and then we can pull up Verna's videos. And I think that'll help others too to see it. Like some people have to, some people can see it on the map, some people watch it in the video, and so who, however, whatever way works best, we can do it both ways.
Queen, once again, I'm going to say thank you for doing this to help get clarification out there so that maybe this family can get some peace. So thank you again for doing this.
Yes, that's my biggest thing is I know that they're struggling already as it is, and I know they're having a really, really hard time as it is. And I just wanted, if there's anything we can debunk or anything we can go over and stop rumors or, stop things before they even get started or try to help people understand how it could be an accident or, I just think it's a good idea to go over stuff.
It's very valuable. It's facts.
I think concentrating on the facts is so important. Yeah.
Facts over feelings. It's okay to have feelings, but not to make them form your facts. You need to have your feelings separate from the facts.
Exactly. That's everything right there. I think people get too caught up on what they think or feel, or they want to like be right and solve all of everything. And it's really not about that. It's just, okay, what do we know? And what can we gather from that? And and then move from there.
We want someone to blame too. Like all along, I've wanted someone to blame. I want someone to pay for this. Like, not that it's just a tragic, unfortunate accident.
I mean, it's so sad. Like a drowning death, I think is horrific. So maybe that. I mean, for me, I think it was really hard for me to wrap around drowning, and if she loved the water, it's just it's hard to wrap around like this. Is just she could have just made a wrong turn and boom, that somebody explained to me that it could have just been going to, you see how she could have been coming down from where the party was, like he was showing the party. She could have been coming down that road, and it's not really a hard left if she was going, she thought that she was going to the right, and if she's going to the right, I wish you could you zoom out, because there's a gully that she had to pass to go home if she was going that way. And she could have thought that she was at this gully and gave it a little gas to get over the gully. And that's instead, she was on the other side going into the water. And it was too late because it was disorienting,
Is this the gully here? Or no?
Gully is, if she made that right and kept going, there's a way for her to get home, which is a shortcut to 89, I believe.
Yeah, that road is miserable, but that's what I was saying. If you take a right there, it's almost impassable. Yeah, it has a gully. It has a gully,
and if she came in that way, if she was like thought that she was going over that gully, right, and there's a lot of water right there in front of, and so she's really was well, I heard that she allegedly that she knew how to do like off bike, off like terrain kind of vehicles. So she went to give it a little gas over that gully, but instead she had made, it was disorienting. She probably didn't know, in the night she made a left and she gave the gas, and then that's what propelled her into the water, and then boom, it was too late.
Well, I think if you watch the video, it might even be simpler than the fact that you can't see the water at all.
Exactly.
And it's straight. I mean, she might not even need to give gas, She just
would have thought if she was going over that little area, like, oh, I need to just give it a little oomph over here, and then
it's flat. It's flat, and then it goes straight down into the water.
Yeah.
So where she would have went in, it's flat and then straight down.
It wouldn't even matter if I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But but that would have just think about disorienting. And then the one window open, because I think the other one broke when it was either turned by AWP or when it just rolled naturally. So that one window opening, there's so much water that is rushing in from that one open window. So she probably unbuckled her seatbelt, tried to get towards that, but that's like a tidal wave that pushed her, and she would have to wait for the whole entire vehicle to sink to then get out of that one open window. Do you guys understand?
I think of it like the Titanic, where she scrambled to the back because it's almost upright for a second.
Oh yeah, that's also it, because it's nosedive. It's nosediving. Yeah. And so gravity. Yeah.
And then once it flipped, she just got.
It could have flipped already when she was underneath. Yeah, who knows? Like, it's so hard to figure out too the physics of it. She could have flipped. It's like, who knows when she flipped? If it flipped underwater, it definitely could have flipped several times underwater. Like there's so much we don't know. About it.
Well, they were talking about Dad's friend had a friend there who's a recovery tow truck driver, and he was trying to explain, because I was trying to figure out where her stuff might be besides what came out that window, because the passenger side window was either down or gone for sure. But there was only one pile of glass on the driver's side where it broke. So anyway, I was trying to figure out how the car flipped so I could figure out if maybe it went out the driver's or the passenger side window first, because he was looking for a phone. And he said they actually turned the car. So the car was facing the land, and then they turned the car and flipped the car. So it's not, they didn't just flip the car, they turned it too at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense. They bring the back around to the front, to the land part.
So
they do the reverse of what it went in.
Yeah. But the weight of the car broke the window. It pushed the mirror into the window. So anyway.
Do you guys remember seeing on the when they were recovering her vehicle, they had a taped off square right around in this area here?
It sounds like they were measuring the angle, like how many feet it's gone down since she went missing.
Oh, okay.
Because it was about 3.5 feet, but I went to where that square was, and there's nothing there. I think it was literally just the angle of how many feet the water's gone down.
Gotcha.
See, I thought that was maybe where they figured she went into the water from, and there was something in that square that was indicative of the accident.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, me too, but there's nothing there. It's just layered dirt like the rest of the place, There's no rocks for anything to like scrape on, or
maybe, you know what, maybe they taped that off for if they pulled the car out and wanted it to sit there for a moment.
Well, there's actually another picture from a different angle, and it's that square, but there's also 2 cones farther out on an angle, like they're measuring.
Yep.
I have a quick question. It doesn't have to do with the mapping stuff. I just need to ask you something real quick. Was this campground paid for? This campground doesn't need to be paid for, right?
It was a day use, so no, they don't charge there.
There was no parent that reserved this for the kids, right?
Nope. And there's no gate. There's no. Yeah.
It's public use.
Free access.
I'm so sick of rumors. Oh my God. Sorry for interrupting. Okay.
If they were actually in the campground, yes, but they weren't.
Well, that makes more sense. Because if they were over here and this is national forest, not national park. National park is different. This is a national forest. So it's federal land.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nobody that patrols either, especially not at night. And the police probably don't even come out on calls because it's such a small town. Like, one of the party goers would have had to call the cops for them to show up there. because I really don't think people at the campground could hear it. And if they could, it was very light.
Interesting.
Anybody have any other questions? Is there anything else that we could bring and help to clear up? I mean,
What about the tow truck guy? Like, I still can't place if like that's credible. Like that still is just that. And
I think it's credible. I think it was mistaken identity, though.
And no car identification then either? Just total mistaken identity, 100%?
Listen,
well, yeah. I mean, the cops have seen the video. Why isn't anybody arrested, or why hasn't it become something? The parents, they would warn the parents something. The parents are still in the accident theory. And, I just think it's mistaken identity. It's got to be, because he didn't have access to the tapes. He's remembering it a week later. Someone that looked like her. And you know how many people look like them out there.
My thought was, if it were credible, they wouldn't have put it in their video. And if you notice what the wording is, we believe this to be a credible piece of information. So in that moment, while it was being recorded and he was giving his statement, AWP believed it to be credible. That is my opinion. I am not dogging AWP. I'm grateful for what they do. They brought this young girl home. But I'm upset with the rumors. And now you've got two people that are starting out their lives. And at 18, 19 years old, they're receiving death threats. Do you think this isn't going to follow them when they're our age?
I think it's more than two. There's a lot of people like that are receiving death threats and being doxxed and all kinds of stuff, and a lot of them are children. It's sad.
Very sad.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, AWP did an awesome thing, and they found her, but they did help create a lot of these rumors by including that interview and that video. And I know people don't like to hear that, but they really did.
I'm in full agreement with that, Kathy.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think that they truly believe. I mean, they had to have confirmed he was credible, that he really works for the tow truck driver. He probably confirmed that there is a video, even that he's reported it. But that doesn't mean, AWP and the tow truck driver even hasn't seen the video after the fact to compare. So it's all on the up and up, but it might just be someone else.
It could have been a blonde girl, a dark-haired guy and it could have been a Honda CRV. Maybe it wasn't a 2013. Maybe it was white instead of silver. You know what I mean? It could have easily been. And it could have easily been kids from that party. And they only made it that far and had a problem. But I don't believe it was Kylie.
I don't know why there. I still don't know why there. Unless they had friends in that campground and whoever it was went there to hang out with them. But that would mean that all of this isn't nefarious and something happened that night. I don't know. It's just weird because they weren't in a camping spot when the tow truck driver found them. They were literally at the entrance, kind of blocking the road, probably almost.
I don't know. I feel like, how do they verify? Like, I don't know. How do they verify, roadside guy though? They admitted that they were unable to see the dash cam footage, right? And they admitted that when they called law enforcement didn't know about the tip. And I just feel like they haven't really. They just keep saying he's verified and he's 100%, and it's like, oh, we wouldn't put our credibility on the line. Like, why would we do that? It's like they're not going any further with saying like how they verified him. Like, I really just feel like it's on their gut instinct, and they kind of know that even if it doesn't turn out to be the case, that nobody's really going to care. They still have a ton of people supporting them and loving them,
because their overall what they do overshadows the bad behavior,
for real,
clicks and views. I get
it.
like I said, I'm not dogging what they do. I just have some concerns with how they did some of this. And if you want to be invited back to work another case, and maybe that's active and not cold and 10 years old, maybe you need to learn from your mistakes on this one and not do it going forward. But I don't see that changing.
I don't think they want to. I think they even said they don't want to do but you know what though? Like, you're right though. It's like like the video was bad enough that they put the interview in there, but the live streams and panels they're hopping on just made it so much worse. And then when you collect all of their interviews they've done in the last couple weeks, it's like they're all saying different things, different panels, and it's a mess. It's a fucking mess.
Well, I mean, it's like that everywhere you go when you listen to
Yes, we watched, what was it, Deets on the Streets? They have a video, and
Yeah.
it's got like all the interviews except for Duty Ron and I think like Chris McDonough. I think there's like 2 interviews they didn't put on there. They didn't.
Right.
They weren't done yet by the time they made the video, you know.
Right.
But it's a mess. Like, nothing they say, everything, you know, basically nothing they say matches. It's all contradicts. It's all contradicting, and they keep saying their tow truck guy is credible, but if that's the case, you know, he's insinuating you know, this kid with this long hair, and they're basically saying no, Jagger's been cleared, so it's not him. So
well, he is credible,
but remember Jared in the first panel he did after dropping the video, everybody was like in the chat saying Jagger, and he was like, well, let me say this without saying it. It was those 2 kids around the car, and like basically saying it was Jagger without saying it was Jagger. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
it was really like pretty gross.
Well, I saw I don't remember who I saw or what I saw on, but I heard that they showed the tow truck driver a picture of Jagger, and he confirmed that was the guy. But that does not mean that it still wasn't a mistaken identity. AWP, tow truck driver, they're all credible, but that doesn't mean that that's actually who it ended up being, because it's been so much time, and you don't, I mean, even when there's a crime in front of you, everybody doesn't get the same description.
Well, I feel like if you are that confident that you're flagging down AWP to tell them that you have a tip, and that's what he did. He flagged them down at the Best Buy to tell them that he had a credible tip. Don't you think that it would be credible? You know, wouldn't you believe that, hey, if he's flagging me down to tell me he's got a good tip, then obviously he's fairly sure about this.
Listen, and at that point, AWP shouldn't have done a fucking thing. They should have said, you know what, dude, I'm going to sit here with you. We're going to call law enforcement, and then we're all going to talk together. Because anything other than that becomes sensationalizing.
Right.
And tragedy pimping. I'm sorry.
It does. Period. People don't want to hear it too bad. It's just the truth.
It violates the victim's rights and those that are left behind.
Yeah.
I like AWP a lot, and I just really feel like they hopefully they learn from their mistakes during this, you know, from the mistakes that have happened, and they can
support AWP
move forward. You know what I mean? I don't know. It sucks. I don't want to sit here and, you know what I'm saying? Because what they do is really, you know, I really think what they do is amazing, but I mean, they definitely made some big mistakes, like during the.
Well, I think they were trying to push the police. I think the police were just not trying, and they were trying to push them into doing
somebody
something.
who works.
And you know, I feel like the police have been sketchy. If anybody's been sketchy, I don't think it's Xana May or Ronnie I think it's the police. People need to be looking at them. And why did it automatically go to why did they first say an abduction when she was close by the water? You would think, okay, well, let's look by the water. Then when they get there, they say, don't look in the water. We've already found we've already looked here. Don't worry about looking here.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well,
I think that's why.
I can help answer that with what I do in my real life, and working between the families of the missing and law enforcement. Okay, so the moment that they say abduction, because she was a minor and she went missing and her vehicle was also missing, she wasn't eligible for the Amber Alert, as we learned, But by saying that it was an abduction, then they can, and it was on federal land, it allows them to bring in Homeland Security, the FBI. It brings in all of the surrounding counties to bring in additional resources. Now, could it have been phrased a little bit different? It needed to be explained a little bit. Yes, but does law enforcement explain their decisions of what they do to the public? No. Now, that's where the PIO comes into play to explain, this is why we did this, this, and this. Again, retraining, yes, don't defund. Retrain, relearn, to reduce the recidivism rate, because that's where the breakdown is at.
Well, there's like that's what defunding is supposed to mean. It's like the most poorly chosen slogan ever. Like, it's not supposed to stop paying the cops.
I'm not even talking about like defund the police. I'm just saying, like, I think they handled it very poorly with this, and I think there's definitely some things that they can be looking at. And not only that, they, wanting Sammy to handle it, asking her to handle it and do the interviews, just things like that. Or, you know what I'm saying? I feel like they could have definitely went about it in different ways.
We don't know if Sammy wasn't wearing a wire, or the devices that she was using weren't tapped and going all the information that was being retained.
Didn't they come out and say that they didn't ask the kids to like filter tips?
I don't know.
That was like misstated or something.
Yeah, there was a statement out like that, but then they came out and said that they did ask her to talk to the kids. So,
well,
like I said, the police handled this very sketchy. I mean, it's very, like, I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't a botched investigation. I don't think it was botched. Technically, with my in quotes, I don't think it was botched by any means like that. I just think that they could have done a better job.
It was very negligent the way they took the car out. Like, that was fucking disgusting.
Right, just dumping shit everywhere, and just being disrespectful, and you know what I mean. And if I don't know when her mom found out or whatnot, but I mean, I feel like if they were going to, I just feel like mom and dad should have been notified, and they should have said, "Hey, we're gonna go in Prosser Lake if you guys want to meet us there, or we're gonna go in Boca if you guys want to meet us there."
Well, they were there. Dad and Grandpa were at the campground right there.
Well, SF Investigates said that he's the one that told them. He's the one that informed them.
Right, but they were at the sanctuary. They were right there.
Can I
hold on? I didn't hear Verna. Hold on, Verna. I'm sorry. Somebody talked over you. What'd you say?
Dad and Grandpa were there. There was a camper there at the campground where Dad and Grandpa were, and Dad and Grandpa were with SF up at the sanctuary, right up the way.
Yes, Dad and Grandpa.
And then Grandpa is Mom's father, so why wouldn't he have called his daughter?
Right,
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I think it's just a big, huge rumor that she was having dinner and the waitress told her.
Well, even so, maybe she was having. Shame on that waitress for walking up there and learning it on social media and being the one to do that.
And saying something to her about it if that's how it happened. But I just, like you said, why would he not call his daughter? I don't understand why, people keep going with that.
Well, let me give you a little brief synopsis on SF Investigates. So here's, I followed him from one panel to another panel to another panel to another panel because I wanted to compare the differences in his stories. And listen, SF Investigates woke up a week after Kylie had been missing. Now, SF Investigates only made it halfway through the police academy before he quit and realized it wasn't the job for him. So then SF Investigates contacts Big DX Mysteries out of Tennessee, and she encourages him to make the 8-hour drive north, where he goes and self-inserts by saying he's going to be a searcher. And what does he go and do? He goes and self-inserts and makes friends with the family. And then the moment that he learns something on social media from DX Mysteries out of Tennessee, he turns around and goes down and tells the father, hey, AWP just found her. So SF Investigates, he's got some issues too.
Yeah, I don't know how Mom didn't know. I know Dad has her number. I heard him talking to her. So I don't know. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm glad we're able to debunk some stuff. I also wanted to touch base with you too. Do you have the links to Verna's video voices? Did I get those to you?
They're not. I didn't see them in private chat.
Okay, I'll put them there. Give me 1 second because I want to play that while she's up here before she has to get down and leave. I want to play them videos. And I didn't realize that Terry had already left. Thank you, girls, for coming up. I really appreciate you guys. I didn't know you were already gone. So I just want to tell you girls, thank you for coming up, the two that were on panel prior.
So who's the one that works with families here on the panel? I can't read the name.
That's me. I'm voice for the voiceless. My name's
Oh,
Angela.
I was going to say, I think there's two other ladies that just got down, that Ellie and Terry. They both got down. They were just up here as well. But if you're talking to voices, then she's still up here.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I'm talking to you. So I was here during the Naomi Arion case.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating how the police don't take it serious. Like the family literally has to prove there's an issue before they'll even move. Like,
honey, I got a missing person
that
went missing in July. Went missing July 17th. Her missing person report wasn't taken until the 29th of September.
And do you see them out there? Like, I've been on several searches, like for her especially, all volunteers. No law enforcement, no one giving guidance.
Oh, law enforcement won't let us search on our own.
Oh, well, here, I mean, at least here, because there's two small towns that both of these happened in. It's just so small. They're like, okay, go here. Which I don't think anybody knew anything. And I just wish there was someone that would just, like Casey Valley's Naomi's brother. And he wants to start a trust the family initiative. Like, you need to trust me when I tell you this, not like my sister. She would never do this. And the same thing with Kylie Rodney's family. You know, she would never do that. She's a good girl. She would never, something's really wrong here. And they just need to be able to trust. I know there's probably a ton that get found and they're gone because they prefer to. But I just wish there was something.
I understand, like, part of it, though. Like, okay, so I understand that, like, okay, so her mom was saying, like, she wouldn't drive drunk. Of course, like, you're not going to tell your mom all the bad stuff you do, or your brother, or, like, whatever. But, like, there needs to be, you're onto something, though, with that, though, because there does need to be some more consideration when it comes to, like, what the family's telling law enforcement, and like doesn't need to be totally ignored. Of course, like take some things with a grain of salt, because maybe they didn't want their family knowing about an affair or whatever they're doing, they're drinking or what, you know what I mean, like things that can be considered like quote unquote bad, but there needs to be something done for sure.
Yeah, I mean, what if she would have went off the road like that other couple that were missing at the same time? She could have been in her car hurt.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. She could have been stuck in there. I'll tell you what. The one, there's an airplane flying above. Oh my God, there's an airplane above me. It's a.
Oh my God!
You guys, do you hear it up there?
It's a bird. It's a plane.
Oh my God, there's an airplane. I wonder what it is. It's got to be the government watching our videos.
They're flying over me right now, guys.
I saw that firsthand.
Ryan reported you, Queen. They're getting your.
Oh man, that's it. They're watching me. That fucking
financially fucked. Oh my God. I can't.
Yeah. Okay, so the only thing that really even made me sway away from it was possibly an accident. Like it was an accident that it could possibly be something else. Was when they said, I didn't even think about this, but you know how people like they do senior pranks.
Yes.
And all I could think was, what if they, you know what I'm saying? What if because, okay, so her friend Sammy in that interview says, if she was so drunk that she wouldn't have made it very far. And so we just thought she slept it off. We checked all around. Mags is like, well, we spent the last 10 hours checking all around all the campsites and all the camp spots. And we drove around and we were just looking everywhere for our friend. We thought maybe she stayed overnight and slept in her car.
Which makes sense. There's a lot of isolated places.
Right. Which would make sense. And then I thought, what if she did park down there? Or what if she did go, was down there or fell asleep in the back of her car? And they pulled a senior prank and thought it was, just pushed it off into the water thing. And she, the back hatch was open and she, wake up and jump out or whatever. And then I thought, them kids, there's no fucking way they'd be able to keep that a secret for this long. There's no way.
Somebody would have
When I
immediately
know around
said.
here, we do senior pranks in the school. Like we do stuff at the school itself. So I don't
have that video ready to go if you
But
add
I honestly think if it wasn't an accident and quote unquote foul play, that's what it would be. It would be just kids being scared to say something about something that bad. You know what I mean? Like that. Like a prank thing that happened or something. I don't think it was like super sinister.
This is live. I'm leaving the sanctuary here. My son put that. So if you look on the side, it's only stage for us. So even if she was super drunk, I mean, it would take a miracle to even hit a tree right there. They're so far apart. But I mean, if you went off the road, you could go right back on. I don't know. It's hard to tell how deep these are, but they're super deep. Like I bottomed out every time. So you can't go more than like 10 at tops.
Well, and we also saw how easy Check It TV ended up in the water. So that was another thought that I had. Inexperienced.
And he wasn't even on the steep part.
Conditions.
He wasn't even on the steep part. He was on the gradual slope. And I could see if you're distracted where you could, you know, you kind of get lulled into a sense of like everything's the same. This is as fast as I can go, guys. It's hard to tell where the turn is up here, but when you see it, if you hug the right hand side, it's not as sharp of a turn as you'd think.
Yeah, they said the potholes were really bad.
This is that pull off. I'll show you the video.
Oh, we got feedback. Somebody's got feedback real bad. I don't know, guys. It's really hard, and I know I'm probably being just a bitch, but I really think it's very sketchy that these kids only reach out to Olivia, and they do videos, or they're willing to talk, but under a voice recorder, like, you know, voice changer, and they want their names changed, and then they come out, and the things that they say they don't add up. Doesn't add up with the party. So, and I feel like, the turn off. You know, look how much shit Ixmel got for having Ronnie call in. Look how much fucking shit Ixmel got.
Well, and I feel like they're taking what they want from the interview too. Anywhere. Looks like right. Like they're not considering that she said she didn't see Jagger there. They're leaving that out. They don't believe Jagger's innocent. God forbid, you know.
Yeah.
Like they're cherry picking what the fuck they want to hear is basically what it is.
Well, and nobody's actually realized that Xana May came from Ickidmel. Xana May has been a member on Ickidmel's channel for 3 years. Xana May happens to live in the Bay Area, then decided that, oh, well, I guess I could go up here and get some footage for somebody for a YouTube channel. And now the woman's had her life destroyed.
I think all these rumors about all that stuff is just stupid.
It's really stupid.
It's dumb.
Well, yeah, it's ridiculous. And honestly, it has nothing to do with this case. Absolutely nothing to do with this case, other than it's people who covered the case are now in, you know, YouTube drama.
You notice how...
But I did think it was kind of odd. I will say this much. Now that everything's came to light and all this and that, I did think it was really odd that Xana May went and signed up on the roster to go look and help search for her.
So did SF Investigate. Yeah. That's the whole point about social media can actually damage these cases.
So well, it made me feel like if she wasn't doing it for clout, what else was she doing it for? Because
I believe she was doing it to give Ickidmel an inside scoop. That's what I really
Oh,
believe.
100%. I also, okay,
Exactly.
people might not like this, but I feel like Xana May really likes pats on the back. She likes to talk about what an awesome fucking person she is. And because I've seen her say a few different things. She
So that's
she
the end of the road,
needed,
guys.
but like I'm not saying that that means that she's involved or responsible. I don't think that she's responsible at all. I think that if she was just a little more forthcoming about like, hey, I went out there to get fucking content and footage, instead of being like, oh, I needed to mental health, I needed to relax. I love kayaking. I had already planned to go there. When she already planned to go there, that sounds unbelievable to me. And like talking about how she felt pressured to put that video back up, like just not taking responsibility for, or like being very truthful. Like, I don't know, just like, I went to go search for a girl. I don't feel like that's what she was.
So I'm kind of in her spot, with the videos and stuff, because I kind of did the same thing. And my reason for doing the videos was to help people understand.
Right.
Like, I needed you guys to understand how steep that terrain was, because you cannot tell from Google Maps. Like, it does not make sense unless you're actually there. And I mean, genuinely, that might have been what her motive was, just to help people understand. I mean, that's why I did it.
I feel like take it to a channel that is going to use it for monetary gain. You did it for personal understanding, so people could get a firsthand knowledge.
Well, and her video was not like and explaining anything either. It was like an edited clip to clip. Like, here I'm kayaking on that lake, and you know what I mean. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, because the bottom line is she didn't deserve what she got. I agree with that.
I agree.
But
do you want to do the daytime video? You guys can see the difference.
Yes, I can. Give me 1 second. Let me get that pulled up.
Okay, I was gonna say, can you click on that and go back to her? If you click on that, you can go right back to her channel, and all the videos are the ones that are on there are on her channel.
It's not
like
really
I have them
a
on my channel too.
I just had nowhere to put them.
No, you're fine. I have them on my channel as well, but I think they're easier to find on yours, and they're your original videos. So I want to give you credit as well. So and if you want me to, I will drop your link in the chat so people can go watch them and subscribe to your channel if you'd like me to.
No, I don't need subscribe. I just put them there because I didn't know how to send them to somebody without a.
Yeah, but I mean, that way, if people want to go look for themselves, they can go on over there and check, and they can do their own research. I
agree.
I actually encourage people to do their own research and go check for themselves and watch and listen for themselves, because what you heard may be different than what I heard, or maybe how you interpret something may be different than how I took something. But I do think the video where you're standing there and you're like, we're right in front of the water, can you see anything? And there's nothing. It's pitch black. You can't see anything.
Yeah, and I mean, even Dad matched the moon and took the drive at the same time, and it's super dark. I mean,
we're ready to go whenever you are.
Okay. Should be up.
So this is a little bit before the sanctuary. I started behind the sanctuary, just so everybody knows. The sanctuary is off to the right there. So that's is the road someone else could leave by, but it's very washed out. Really hard to go on. So the right is the sanctuary right now.
So that's looking from the road into the sanctuary?
Yeah. And it's huge. It's 3 or 4 giant areas, like football field size areas. It's not a small place. You could definitely fit a ton of cars there. And people. So see how you'd think you would not take a wrong turn because you can see everything, but in that night video, you can't see none of this stuff. Can't see the sky. You can't see none of it.
Did you see that? There was a little marker over there on the left. Did you see that side? Do you want me to back it up, or did you guys see it?
Yeah, I showed it on purpose. There's markers from them. I thought it was from them searching, but now I think it's from tree preservation. There's random trees. But you can kind of see how it all just looks the same, you know?
And when you look at it, daytime versus nighttime, totally different.
Yeah. I could see where it's like, oh, someone wouldn't just drop or drive into the lake till I took that night drive. And I'm like, oh yeah, I could see where someone could totally drive into the lake, especially like if you start to go in the water, if it was flat, you could stop yourself. But when you're going down a hill that you cannot stop on, you can't stop yourself, even if you realized the water was there. So see, there's nothing really for her to hit. If she went off the road a little bit, you could still keep going. You know, you could be super out of it and still be driving on this. Kind of keeps you there because it's so rutted.
The ruts keep you in line in the road.
And even if you went off, you know, the trees are every once in a while. They're not everywhere. So that's the first place you can see the water. But not at night. Doesn't this seem like such a long drive? That's why I don't understand why people would walk this.
That's kind of what I was just sitting here thinking. This is a really long way to walk, and to walk to get to a party that the second Jane Doe just is like, well, I just sat there and hung around for a little while, and then.
So here's the turn right up here. So if you're hugging that right side, I mean, I know at night it's pretty easy to not even realize you're turning. It's really wide right there.
Oh shit, that is really wide, and you wouldn't even realize. Especially if you're coming out right there, over closer to the right more. You're exactly right.
And it looks the same when you go the other direction. Same few trees and stuff like that. Like both, I mean, there's no way to tell the difference, especially at night. Till you get to the turn to go on the pavement, which is right about the length from here to the water. So it wouldn't have seemed overly unusual that she was going that far. So see how the car's above the water on a hill?
Right.
You can't see it.
You would not see it at all.
So this is the other turn. If you go right, it gets really rutted. It's that gully she was talking about. You can't. You have to go a long ways around to go to the water if you go right. And to go to same thing. But otherwise, you can't really tell. I know at night. I know at night, it looks like that road's continuing almost because you can't see the water and your lights shine almost on that other shore.
Your lights are going to shine over by the trees.
Oh yeah, over on the other shore. So it looks like the road keeps going almost.
Okay. Imagine this being dark and you're driving down. you're driving down and all of a sudden right off of that, and I just feel like she was just driving and then fume, and she went right off that airborne right into the water and was in the water before she even knew what was going on.
Right. And even if she knew it, she couldn't have stopped.
Listen, I lost my sister in a very tragic car accident where they went down a 40-foot embankment.
Ugh, I'm sorry.
And, you know, accidents, you want somebody to blame, but sometimes it's just a damn accident.
That's exactly how I see it. See the dirt too? So at night, your lights hit that dust, so it even more obscures the view. If you stop, there's dust. So her car by now probably would be showing because the water goes down almost 2 feet a day. So when I get to the bottom and pan up to my car, can you pause it so you guys can see how steep it is?
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you for doing this, Verna. I really appreciate this. And again, Queen, thanks for hosting another panel to help with this.
Yes, I'm trying to debunk rumors and debunk any kind of, you know what I'm saying, anything that we can, or talk about things that, you know, we know are not adding up or don't make sense, or I just really want to give this family some peace, for real.
When you got to reach so hard, it becomes too much of a reach. When you got to start making excuses for your excuses, probably not facts.
No, and people are holding panels and blaming Jagger. I'm so tired of them, you know, sending death threats to him and Sammy and Mags, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just, come on.
Such bullshit. It's such bullshit. And it just keeps going on and on and on. And then people will like excuse that nasty behavior by saying like, we just want justice. They're adults. I don't care. They're not kids. We just want justice. And, you know, and what really pisses me off is with some of these people basically are saying that Kylie's mom like owes us something as a community because she cried and wanted us to help find her daughter. Now that she found her daughter, she wants everything to go away. I don't think so. Like, basically people are saying that. That is sick.
That is exactly. And that family and law enforcement don't owe John and Jane Doe general public shit.
No, they don't.
All right. Right there.
So
see how steep that is? It's crazy steep.
That's almost straight up and down steep.
Yeah, you can't stop. I mean, even the tow truck had to park up there.
You would have literally launched.
Almost, yeah. And even if you went in slowly, you couldn't have stopped. You saw the Check a TV guy get stuck. I mean, he knew what he was doing. He'd been there before. You know? Anyway, yeah, it's just, and there's no tracks. There's no way, I don't think anybody could have seen after that next day of it raining any tracks whatsoever. The dirt's too hard. So, I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this. That's super steep. Look at that. Look at her car up there, you guys.
Yeah, it's really, really steep.
Very scary.
So I kind of walk over where the square was right here, and it doesn't seem like it's anything. See, right here was where that square was.
I still think that's the last. I think that's where they're measuring where her car went off. See, these reservoirs are from snowpack that they get in the winter. And then the water, all the snowpack comes to here, and then they let the water out, and it's what helps water the valley and the fields and everything. So it's going to drain even lower before winter hits, the snow melts.
Yeah, it's super low now. Her car would have been showing by now. And her stuff, whatever stuff is out there, is probably almost showing, you know.
Where you could at least wade out to it.
Oh, you could wait out to it before. I did. Yeah. The other day, last week before, when the divers were there, I was there. Yeah, that's right about where that square was right there. There's not really anything. It doesn't make sense why they were doing it there. Unless they found some, I thought they found stuff and were putting it there to dry, but that didn't make sense because that would like ruin evidence. So I don't know.
Good question, Lilith. Good question.
I've always wondered that because law enforcement never didn't say that they didn't tell them to search there.
Right. And like I've heard it phrased differently, like don't search there, as if like when somebody's like trying to phrase it in like a really sketchy conspiracy theory tone.
Deceitful type way.
And then I've also heard it like phrased like, okay, we already searched here and we looked here, you know, not so sketchy, just letting them know, you know.
Well, and that's standard operating practice because when they bring an outside resource in, they don't want to waste the outside resources' times. You don't want to, like a few weeks ago when we were up on the mountain droning, helping Bighorn County Sheriff's Department fly drones, they don't want to duplicate, so we all split up part of the search area. Right. You don't want to redo, so I just don't honestly see law enforcement saying, don't search there, but I can see them saying, we searched there. However, you have to remember, unless your searchers are all top of the line certified, garbage in is going to equal garbage out. If you don't know what you're looking at on a sonar, you're not going to know what to look for.
True. Well, the thing that got me is her phone pinged where her car was found. So, I mean, if her car was somewhere else at one time, why take it back there to the exact same spot?
Well, that's the thing. Everybody that says that she's been here, there, and everywhere, there's going to be digital evidence that law enforcement has already found that does not support that. That's why it's rumor and speculation. Law enforcement doesn't come out and shoot down the rumors. They don't.
Unless people are being attacked and then they say, oh, it wasn't this guy. He's been checked out. Anyway, that was sarcasm.
Well, yeah, I mean, shit, pretty much. That's pretty much what they had to do with Jagger. I mean, they could have stopped that a long time ago, but it took, you know, him getting death threats and being attacked on social media for the last 2 weeks before they, you know, spoke up and said, hey, he's not involved in this. You know, he voluntarily went to law enforcement. You know, he voluntarily went and gave them a statement, went and talked to them, helped search, was there with her mom. I mean, if he had something to do with it, I really highly doubt he'd be.
Mom would know.
As assertive as he was. I mean, he was like staying with mom, you know, like he was, you know what I mean? The kids stayed the night with mom, they said. They all, you know what I mean? There was a picture of them all there with her.
One thing I noticed about the family is they are 100% off social media. I mean, as a rule, but probably on purpose. But I mean, I know they live kind of outside of town, so you don't get Wi-Fi and stuff. But they are on purpose off of social media. At least I know Dad and Mom are on purpose. They don't know any of this.
Yes, they are. Mom and Dad are off social media. They do not want to be on here. They're not doing interviews. They're not coming on. So if anybody even tries to say that, it's a big ass lie for views.
And they don't know any of this stuff that's going on. From what I gather, sitting with Dad for 3 days, he has no idea that S storm this has become. You know, he has no clue.
Well, Mom obviously has some idea.
And I know she does. Yeah, Mom does for sure because we've talked about it. And she actually addressed the media and social media in her statement when she was. And I thought that was great. But you know what? Sadly, it ramped people up to talk more about her. You know what I mean? And that's really shitty. But I thought it would help settle things down a little bit. You know, like, hey, we've got this. Let her rest in peace. Let us deal, you know, grieve privately, leave us alone, you know, give us our privacy. And like you said, they cut themselves off social media. And I think that's great. You know what I mean? Because they don't have to deal or see or hear any of this crap.
Well,
Well,
she's
you know
with
what?
the kids. The kids probably told her, "Hey, I'm getting harassed here. Help." You know,
Right.
she probably knows who the kids, but dad and mom, from what I gather, I don't know. I'm not part of the family, but from what I gather, they don't hang out.
Yeah,
They get
I know.
along, but they don't hang out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he's probably not
Right.
around the friends.
Well,
He doesn't
they're
live in that area either.
divorced. They're divorced. Either like the only reason they would have come together is because it was their daughter. I mean, you generally don't hang out with your ex-husband.
Right.
Like there, and if there was, any sort of animosity between mom and dad, there's a divorce. They obviously decided didn't want to be spending their lives together. So,
Well,
Right.
I gather because the little boy isn't his, but he kind of talks about him like he is. Because I messed up and I said, I was talking about my daughter getting married and I messed up and I said, he's like, well, I'm not going to ever have that or something. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe your son will, have kids for you. And then he's like, Kylie was my
That's
only child. That's my
heartbreaking.
stepson. And I was just like, oh my God. I could not believe I said that. I felt so freaking bad.
It's
Verna,
not
But
your
he
you
fault.
knows the
know,
So
kid
honey.
it's
and
not your fault.
No, that's just
and
heartbreaking
they
to
sound
hear
like they
that,
get
where you
along.
said, you were talking about your daughter's wedding and he says, I'm never going to have that. That's real life to people, and that's real life to him. That's real life to these guys. And it's just clicks and views to other people. And that's really
Couldn't
sad.
help him. You don't
That's
know what
really,
to say. You don't know how to fix it. I
yeah,
think that's why
there's
we all
no
want to
words.
blame. We all want to help, but there's nothing to help, I don't think.
But Verna, what you're doing right here is the best way you can help. It's the best way you can fix it, by being a voice and saying, hey, look at this, look at this, look at this fact.
These
I
are the
went out.
facts, and
Yep.
not entertaining rumors and speculation. I think that's great. I think you're doing a great job by, only putting out facts, only things that you know to be true, not just what you think or what you feel or what you've heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, thank you.
And you're
I just
somebody
wish there
else.
was another way to when someone else goes missing, to get some instant results, because social
Well,
media is
Verna,
so powerful. And I wish
that's
there was a
one of
way
the
to just
things
rally the
I
troops.
wanted to do when I came out here. Was my whole goal coming out here was to help build a network of advocates, that when somebody goes missing, there's an advocate that's there to help, so that you've got somebody who can help back the family, as well as help facilitate between law enforcement, because there's no book that's been written when what you do when your loved one goes missing.
Yeah, they're lost. They're just lost. Absolutely. That's awesome. I mean, yeah, that's all what we need. That's what we need to take out of all of this. If it ends up being an accident, don't freak out and start more conspiracies, but maybe channel it to something that'll help like that.
They will,
For sure.
unfortunately, they will. And it's like it even okay, let's say the autopsy report comes out and it was an accident, like you said, right? And they're just gonna continue with the bullshit. It's just I just like come to the realization that the true crime community is really just that, and it sucks. And I feel
I
like
think the majority
it
of
puts a
people want to help.
necessary it puts a necessary divide in there, though. It's like I feel like some of those people might feel like they're doing the right thing, like the people in the chats that are like, oh my god, they get all like riled up and shit, and they're like, but you just don't understand, Jagger's guilty or whatever the hell they're saying. They sound ridiculous to me, and maybe you and you and you, because we're trying to put logic in there, and like, and I feel like we've looked at everything. I really do. I just don't feel like, how is it helping to look at these like young people, teenagers and young adults, social media, and get their name and pull up their pictures and pull up every goddamn thing they've done on their platforms? How is that helping? It's not helping at all. At all. All it's doing is brewing this fucking storm of harassment. And I just am so frustrated.
100%.
I'm so frustrated with certain creators that are just like, oh, I don't know. I'm just trying to help. No, you're not. You're not fooling anybody. You're probably making thousands off this shit. Ugh. I gotta mute.
I think we just need to, I don't know, Voices. Is there something like that out there?
You know what? There is actually a there's a no cost course that you can take through OVAT, Office of Victims Assistance. You can just Google OVAT advocacy course. It's a no cost 70-hour course that it gives you your basis to understand basic human rights, where to advocate for, places where you can step in, all of that. So I'm going to actually be walking through how to set up and start the course on my channel. That's one of my plans for when I get back home. So Buttercup
Awesome.
said she needs to show us something. I wanted to say hi to Megan VR. But Cappy, I understand your sentiment. You guys have really helped to get me back on the right focus about this. I'm really appreciative for you guys today.
It's hard. I get it. You know what, Voices? Like, I get it. Like, it's hard sometimes because I can get caught up too sometimes. Like, sometimes I'll hear something and I'll be like, wow, maybe it wasn't an accident. Like, if I, like, but then I'm like, okay, let me bring myself back and let's look at what just made me have a change of feelings, and let's see if this can be debunked, and let's see how credible this is. And nothing has turned out credible or stuck,
Well, one of the big things that I hear when they go up on these creators host these open panels is, well, I just know. I'm sorry, how do you know? Where is your expertise? Can you tell us what life experience you have, or what credible formal training you have? Or, well, it's my feeling. I'm sorry, a feeling is not a fact. People are going to see the bad in people before they're going to be willing to see the good in a tragic circumstance.
Stacy, who are you talking to?
Well, I mean, I think honestly, if there's a course like that, why can't we force anybody that wants to call themselves a true crime creator to take something like that? Seem to give them a little bit more common sense.
One of the things that was said when I was kind of bitching about a lot of these similar things. One of the things that somebody said was, well, I don't have a problem seeing YouTube creators make money off of it. Journalists do. Well, journalists, A, have gone to school for journalism, B, have ethics and standards that they're held to, and C, do you see a journalist doing a story multiple days in a row, continually, for edition after edition after edition? No.
Only Nancy Grace, but she's not credible at all. You know what I mean? Like,
that's different story.
Nancy Grace, like, I remember, like, following the Casey Anthony trial, like, she would literally come on with the same fucking thing every single day. But she's like the only one, like, that would do that. And then I think that's eventually her show was canceled because, like, she really wouldn't come up with much else. You know what I mean? Like, there are some news channels that are, like, really, pretty bad. But it's like, you're right. It's like they aren't really journalists. I mean, I don't know. You'd think it would just be a matter of, like, putting yourself in this family's shoes, right? Like, how would you feel? Like, and I know that there's some people that have lost kids in the chat supporting what these creators are doing, because I've seen people that have lost kids support us and debunking stuff, and I've seen people that have lost kids supporting what these people are doing.
Yes, ma'am.
And I feel like part of maybe their grief they're taking out on this mom for not quote unquote wanting answers or something.
Not grieving the way they grieved.
Right.
There.
People don't understand that grief is as individual as the person, as the fingerprint, as the journey. Nobody's journey of grief is ever going to be the same. And that's one of the things that advocacy course teaches you, that, like, to watch for those kinds of things and watch for people who are going to prey on people that are in that state.
And I feel like this too, Voices, that when they see these people, these parents that have lost children in their comments, they feel validated in the bullshit they're doing.
Yes, ma'am. You are exactly 100%
It's kind of like when a racist is trying to get leverage in a conversation about civil rights and they talk about the person of color that's their friend. It's kind of like that to me. Well, that's how I see it. I'm like, stop it right now. Like, not like you said, not everybody's the same.
You know, my like friend that happens to be black. Yeah. All right. I want to shut up because I want to hear what Buttercup has.
Dead. That's exactly how I see it, though.
Hey, Buttercup. What's up, girl? What's up, hey, Ellie. How are you?
Good. How are y'all today?
Hey, Ellie.
Hey, guys. Who took that one? Which one of you guys took that footage of the actual park? Was it somebody on this panel that we just watched?
Me.
That's Verna. Yeah, she's up here on the panel. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that was amazing. That really even like helped me with, you know, I was the one talking about the gully earlier. I didn't realize it was so steep, you know? I mean, that would be impossible to break, like Nobody you said, does. Like just impossible to. I mean, I think that's like, I remember Search It TV. You could hear in his voice the fear when he got stuck by that water, you know? So that's really that. I mean, that I feel like people, like you were saying earlier with this, I didn't realize that there was a drama and a crama. You know, I didn't realize that there was all these like different kind of YouTube worlds until like this case, because there was things I couldn't figure out. So I kind of started jumping on panels and such. And I feel like what happens with these true crime cases, how it crosses over to these drama is like they just start picking apart the family like they would themselves. And then they start picking up other YouTubers like Zanime and Tony, like it just becomes drama, and then these people are not involved, and then they get drawn in, and then it gets bigger and they have more stuff to talk about. And I'm not giving any shade to anybody at all, because everybody's on their own journey in this life to figure out what the truth is in their own heart. You know, that's why I came on these panels. I'm a business owner and a social worker, you know, like I have nothing to do with any of this, but I find it really interesting, like what it's become, you know, how that fine line, you know, there's a fine line, you know, but I really appreciate this panel today, because I feel like you're just talking facts. And if you talk about facts, like we have such little facts. We have that ping, we have where we got her car, you know, and then everything else is just hearsay and speculation and just nonsense and just nonsensical in a way and just blabber, you know, like it just in the ether, you know. But I really appreciate coming on here today and talking to you guys, because it's kind of set my head straight about things, you know. So
I appreciate you being willing to come up and listen and participate in the conversation. I appreciated your take on a lot of it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just an interesting fine line in this world, you know, and I think everybody just wants the truth, right? And everybody comes at it in a different way, you know, and you know, everybody's different. Everybody comes with different backgrounds into this and different lives that have their own like hardships and such. So people grab onto different things, and you know, I think that's all the Zanime Tony stuff. That's like all feelings, like you said, not facts. But facts are facts. Like if you take the facts, we have such little facts. And I think this void that has been created by law enforcement saying we're coming out on 11/1 has created all of this chatter, you know? And it's hard to navigate.
Don't you think that the 11/1 is to allow the family, A, some time to grieve, and B, the time to be able to go through the court process to get her records sealed, because they already see what a shit show social media has turned this into?
It could be that too, because they have every right to seal it if it's an accident, right? Because if it's not a homicide investigation, then they would have to seal it. Yeah, if I was going through this, I would seal it and
sealed,
because there's like I think they know everything. I think the family has the autopsy, and they might know that it's like a drowning. I hate to say it,
I
you
agree.
know. Yeah, and it's just horrific to think that you can make just a wrong turn, like you showed Verna, and then all of a sudden you're on this hill. and it's just terrifying. And you have to react in seconds once you hit that water. You have to, like, because of that one window open, it is a tidal wave, and I'm like a good swimmer, and I've gotten caught in like in the ocean and undertows and stuff. It's scary, like water rushing in like that, like, not to be like, she had seconds to react until the whole thing sunk, because she had to get out. If you watch those guys in those video, knowing that they're getting in the water, it's scary, and you have such a little amount of time. And I think people can't handle that. It could be something so, Occam's razor. The simplest solution is, the one that you can't wrap your head around sometimes, because this fantastical one is just maybe easier in your life, not to go on a soapbox about all this.
I agree. I think, and she was impaired. I mean, I don't want to be like talking secrets, but I mean, the parents know she could have possibly been impaired. So, like you said, she's a kid. She does stupid stuff. So if you're impaired, it's going to make it even a lot harder to figure out what you're doing.
Am I breaking up? Are y'all still talking? Hello?
I can hear you. Okay.
Oh,
I thought I wasn't muted, but I'm muted.
okay. Yeah, I'm on my iPad right now, and it's a little choppy, so I couldn't tell if y'all were talking or not.
No, but I just seen you said you wanted me to look something up.
Yes, I need you to look this up. Okay.
I put the link.
Do you want me to say it out loud, or do you want me to wait?
I put the
All
link.
right, guys, I gotta head out. So I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you for this.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
I appreciate the logic. All right, bye, guys.
Bye. She's cutting up real bad. Her phone's cutting out really bad, I think. Verna, you're cutting out super bad anyways. So thank you for coming up. I really appreciate you joining the conversation and explaining to some of the girls.
Okay, I put
she's already gone. Yeah, she was breaking up really, really bad.
I put the link to that one in private chat. Is that the right one, Buttercup?
Oh, let's see. Yeah. Okay, hear me out before y'all play it. Okay, when I was watching Olivia's video, I was listening to this person talk, and as I was listening, I'm like, I know this person. This person seems familiar to me. Okay, and I'm like, who is it? At first, I thought it was somebody else, so I went to that person's channel. She also does true crime, and I'm like, oh, it's not her. It's not her. She doesn't have the same speech. And I'm like, and it was making me mad because I'm like, I've listened to this person's videos before, and the reason why I say I recognize it is because things that she would say, she elongates certain words in the middle of her sentence or at the end of her sentence. So for instance, say I am talking about the boys that were at the beach. Like, she does that kind of speech, which was very similar in Olivia's video. And she also had what did she say? She said like certain words that were very similar to this girl and how she talks in her channel. So I just wanted you all to pull it up and see if y'all kind of feel the same way that I do feel about it.
Okay, so we're gonna check the voices.
Yep, check the voices.
Okay, so we will compare them, and I'm gonna give my opinion, and then you guys can give your opinion, and we'll see if this is if it sounds similar to what you say. Caller number 2, right?
Caller number 1.
Okay, caller number 1. Also, I wanted to go over some of those things too.
Wait, sorry, Jane. Okay, was Jane number 2 the one in yesterday's video from Olivia?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, Jane Doe number 2 then.
Okay. So we'll play a little snippet of hers and a little snippet of this other one.
Can you somehow hide her name, because I'm not trying to like put her on blast or anything, you know what I mean?
What I'll do is
yeah, you know what? I'll just put it's okay. I'll just put the screen up like this, and then you can, that way nobody can see what we're playing. They can just hear it.
Right.
Okay. Give me a second.
Okay. and we only need just a little tiny snippet. So anything out of, you know what I mean? Just
go grab one and put it in the middle and let it
go right to the middle of it and try to find like a little snippet of her saying something, you know what I mean? And then so we can compare just the voice. We just need to hear the voice.
Got you covered. I'll be right back.
I have a very distinct, scratchy, itchy, like man's deep fucking voice.
I mean, you don't have a man voice, though.
It's not. Yeah, sometimes I do. Like it's like groggy. You know what I mean?
You have like a bassy, like deep, scratchy woman's voice, though. Like you could tell you're not a man. Well, a lot of women in my family have like very dominant voices like that too, though. So it's just like
in my head, I feel like my voice is so deep. Does anybody else feel the same way?
I do not feel the same way about your voice. No.
No, I said in my head, like when I hear my voice in.
I'm like, no, you have the cutest little dainty girl voice ever made, dude.
I hate hearing.
You're like, does anybody like? In my head, I think I have a deep voice. Shit, are you serious?
All right, so here's the first sample that we're gonna listen to, and then we're gonna go get Jane Doe number 2 and listen to a sample of her, and then we'll listen to the original sample again. Here we go.
And why Dave didn't chime in because he literally had no idea what was going on. But Mads actually says that when she went to Bryce at first, he didn't believe the things that she said to him.
Okay, so now let's go get Jane Doe number 2.
Perfect.
Chronicles of Olivia. New party gives me clues. I gotta have it muted for a second because there's ads. Bear with me. Okay. It's buffering just a second. Here we go. Ready?
I reached my ride's car around 1 a.m. back on the pavement, and I was never passed by a car on the dirt road or saw a car on my walk to my ride.
Okay.
Okay,
let's
so
go back and
you see how they elongate certain words in their sentence? You have to play a little bit longer on the original.
Okay, so here we go back to the original.
Him, and then over time, as more things had come out about Taylor, he began to not support Taylor anymore. Bryce can't really say anything either.
That was a different voice.
That was a different voice. That Bryce didn't say anything either is a different voice. Please, it's not the one we're looking for. Hang on.
She says that she never got one. I'm just gonna say
that's another different voice. Hang on.
But you know what though? Listen, it's a voice changer. The second one's a voice changer. So it's gonna be hard for us to tell. I mean, like as far as like comparing voices, I mean the way they say the words, but
it's the cadence and the rhythm and the way they say their words.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
Now I do have a program that can reverse auto tune and all that stuff because I'm pretty sure I know the program that Olivia probably would have used. So I would have to go use my program to kind of clean up that audio. But y'all, I'm about 58% sure this is this person because of how she says her words. And it doesn't seem too far-fetched to me because they are both young and they could be friends. They're YouTube friends, you know?
Did you check their TikTok and to see if they're friends on TikTok or whatever? Because she's a big, like Olivia's big on TikTok.
I don't know their TikTok.
She's got like 1 million something followers.
Which is it does make me think that at first it was true. Like, yeah, you know what? These girls probably are reaching out to her. But then the way that the way that we've seen people come on here and lie and tell stories and the way that they, you know what I'm saying? We've just seen things go down the way they have.
The reason why I am kind of hesitant about Olivia because she seems to come up with a new source all of the time. You always have new sources all of the time. And
But she's also on TikTok, and she's right up in there with JLR and Bullhorn Betty. And who looks everybody up, no matter if he just is thinking about them? JLR and Bullhorn Betty.
Oh, he's such a weirdo.
is there a way to look at like, you know how on Instagram you can search for somebody? Is that a way to do that in TikTok or no?
Yeah, it's Chronicles of Olivia on TikTok. I bet if you go to her page, she probably has her TikTok linked. It's
No,
Chronicles of Olivia on TikTok.
I'm on the other girl's TikTok right now. So her following is locked. I can't see that. I can only see her followers. Let me go to Chronicles Olivia. See what hers is looking like. So she has 1.2 million. Her following list is also blocked. You can't see it. You can't see who she's following.
Well, you'll keep digging, won't you?
I really will. I'm about ready to bring out my computer and see if I can put it through this program real quick and see. Let me see something real quick. There was another video I wanted to show you. I'm gonna put it in the private chat really quick.
I don't know. I kind of feel like this though too. Like, why would she use another YouTuber's voice? Like, why wouldn't she want somebody a little more mysterious? Like, I kind of feel like, I don't know. I kind of feel like Jane Doe might be real. It's just like, think about it. Take away all the like suspenseful music she put in the edits and stuff. It's like the kid didn't really say anything too slanted in one way or the other. Do you know what I mean? But she did have some inconsistencies, like with the rain, and there was something else too, I think.
Yes, I believe that they probably are real, but again, it's a whole nother case of what is her intent in doing it, and that they've put out some bad information, because we know that the weather is a verifiable fact, so it just calls the whole thing into question, in my opinion.
Well,
Okay,
right,
listen,
and
so
especially
this,
their past too, you know.
so listen, somebody sent me this, and it's a quick notes that they jotted down, and it says Jane Doe number 1. This was her first party there. She was there. Okay, so it says there 10:30 between 10:30 and 11. Knew Kylie. She was amazing, but never talked to her. Hung out with druggies. This is from Jane Doe number 1 is saying this. Okay, this is take away key points that she got from the Jane Doe number 1 caller or whatever. You know.
Thank you for doing this, whoever sent this to you, because I've got one of these lists too.
Yep, it says 200 people out there, but I don't know. I left early. Then here's another star mark. It says, I don't drink or do drugs. I wasn't active at the party. Same thing Jane Doe number 2 said. So they're both denying drinking, both denying doing drugs, both denying being a part of any of that at all. And let's see here.
Yes. Inconsistencies and similarities.
Yeah.
I didn't get to hear Jane Doe number 1. I couldn't. Hold on. Let me go look. Hold on. Sorry.
No, you're fine, baby. Go ahead. So then so here's the next one. It says she said Kylie was intoxicated and offered her a drink multiple times, but also said she didn't talk to Kylie. So
I've never understood how that worked, because if
she contradicts herself a couple of times in her interview. That's what I'm saying. Like this, I'm really having a hard time believing that either and it almost makes me wonder, like, if these guys didn't dupe Olivia, try to, you know what I'm saying, to get a little bit, you know. I'm not saying Olivia did this or even knew about it or did it on purpose or had anything to do with doing it on purpose or nothing like that. What I'm saying is maybe these girls thought, you know what,
This is our 15 minutes.
She's gonna blur our name and our voice. It don't even matter. So they're never gonna even know it's us. Nobody's gonna know if it's a lie or not. So which is another thing is you can't confirm this and you can't put anything down as facts. So why would you put this out there and spread this?
And also,
thank you.
Like, my thing is, okay, why hide the identity of the voices? We don't know what these kids sound like, other than the four main people that spoke publicly. We don't know anybody else. We don't even have pictures of the kids at the party. So why hide their voices?
Well, yeah, and Olivia does great editing. Like, she is very smart and very, very talented. She has a lot of talent.
Yes.
But I feel like she definitely could have vetted these girls a lot better than what she did. And she knows we're the true crime community. We're nosy as hell. We're gonna find out. We're gonna figure it out.
I'm sorry for interrupting, Queen. She
Okay.
all, and nobody's trying to take away her editing skills, her creativity, none of that.
No.
Nobody's trying to take that away from her. We're just saying, if you're going to put the information out, cite your sources if you want to be considered like a real, this is really what you're doing and you've got ethics and standards.
Yeah. What happened to Cappy?
Cappy just says, "Oh, Queen Bee, oh my God, bitch. LMAO. Jane Doe 1 and 2 are the same freaking person. This bitch is freaking dumb or something."
I need to listen to Jane Doe 1. Is that in a different video?
OMG. Yes. See, this is what I'm saying, you guys. I'm so glad. I can't not be the only one. Like, what? Are we in the fucking Twilight Zone or what?
Listen, she did the same thing with the Summer Wells stuff.
Yep.
Same thing. And don't forget, MGL is the one who showed her how to make all of her money when it comes to over on the YouTube side.
Yeah, what did she say? Turn your stuff on private for 10 minutes till it turns green, then you turn it back on. She's like, "Oh my God, you're live." And Olivia's like, "Yeah." She's like, "God, man, damn it, Olivia."
Now I know how everybody else feels when I open
that
my
was a good
mouth.
fucking live there. But, you know.
Oh, NorCal girl, I can't.
Okay, NorCal girl dropped the link. She said Jane Doe #1. So go listen to Jane Doe #1 and go listen to Jane Doe #2 and come back here and tell me if you think they're the same person.
I gotta leave. I gotta listen to this. I'll be right back.
All right. Is Jane Doe 1 the girl who partied with Kylie? Well, yeah, this is the key takeaway points of Jane Doe #1. Ready? This was her first party. She was there from 10:30 to 11. She knew Kylie. She was amazing, but never talked to her, right? She hung out with druggies. She said there was 200 people there, but I don't know. I left early. So she says she doesn't know. She left early. Okay, so she says, I don't drink or do drugs. And this is, one of her next statement. Can you guys still hear me okay? Am I still on here?
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
She was there between 10:30 and 11, so she was there for 30 minutes, but she left early. Does that mean she was only there for 15 minutes?
Well, that's what I mean. I have no idea. That's why I don't know. She says she was there from 10:30 to 11, and then she said she knew Kylie. She was amazing, but I never talked to her. She said she hung out with druggies. 200 people were there, but I don't know. I left early. Then she goes, I don't do drugs or drink. I wasn't active at the party. Same thing Jane Doe 2 said. So Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2 both said that they don't drink and they don't do drugs and they were not active at the party.
And that Kylie was intoxicated and that she hung out with druggies and that they said the same thing. Same things. Right. Chloe Joe, that's what I was just going to ask. Why even go to that party then? That's a lot of work to go to a party.
Well, yeah, why go to a party for a half hour? That's like Mags. Why would you go for a half an hour? That doesn't make no damn sense.
Well, I have a theory on that one. My theory on that one is...
But anyways, it says, look, she said Kylie was intoxicated and offered her a drink multiple times, but also said that she didn't talk to Kylie. So there's one contradiction Jane Doe number 1 has.
Well, how do you know somebody but never talk to them?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, how do you know? She said this. She said this in this interview. This is her words out of the interview. She said she didn't see Kylie with Sammy. Okay. So she did not see Kylie with Sammy together. She said there was a group of boys trying to jumpstart their car, and that there was a fake fight. Hold on 1 second. Okay. You up here, Buttercup?
Girl, they the same person. They are the same person. They have the same verbiage, inflections, tone, and everything.
Cappy called it. See what I'm saying? You guys see what the fuck I'm saying?
Well, I thought it last night when I laid here listening to it, and I'm like, this isn't right. And what kind of fuckery and bullshit are they playing on these teenagers that, I mean, like, this stuff is going to be attached to them for the rest of their lives?
That is so crazy.
Yeah, one of the girls, she's like, I don't like drinking. And then she's like, I only drank in Spain. Really? You don't drink, you don't like drinking, but then she's like, I only drank in Spain.
Okay. So does this mean that we just identified one more tragedy pimp on the streets? Okay, is everybody else here?
I'm here. I keep dropping in and out.
Yep, I'm definitely here. Yes, ma'am. I was getting some links.
Okay. You're getting links? Oh, okay, awesome. All right, sorry,
No, you're fine. The rest of it here, let me see. The rest of these little key takeaway points is there. Let me see if there's any more left. Okay. Did not see Kylie with Sammy. There was a group of boys trying to jumpstart their car. There was a fake playful fight. And then she said she never saw Kylie hanging around the boys. So
it is the same voice changer, but you have to listen to the inflections of the voice and remember what I said earlier about how they elongate certain words. Jane Doe number 1 does the same thing as Jane Doe number 2.
yeah, see. Hold on, Jane. Here, look, I'm gonna read this list of Jane Doe number 2 now. Ready? Okay, Jane Doe number 2. She says Jagger wasn't there. It was such a huge party that she had never seen before. The water was freezing cold. Kylie was intoxicated before 11 o'clock. Okay, these are all statements from the other friend. Okay, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, yes, you cut out a little bit.
Voices, you there? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. I had barking dogs. I'm sorry. It sounds like UPS is coming.
That's okay. I got cars going up and down the street, fucking motorcycles by the highway. Fuck. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but it's
No, I don't hear any of that. That's why I was
had
like,
the helicopter going
confused.
above me earlier. Okay, so hold on. Here we go. Let's see. All right. Where was I? I hear the water was freezing cold. She said Kylie was intoxicated before 11 o'clock. The black and white picture was taken in Reno, not at Prosser Lake. So we know the black and white photo has nothing to do with the party at all. That's has nothing to do with Prosser Lake.
But we don't know who this person is. And so,
well, the other girl already came forward about it too.
Oh, okay. So then that's confirmation then.
Yeah, and it's on. I thought it was on either your channel or somebody else's channel that had the video of. Maybe it ain't yours, but
probably not mine because the only thing I did was go over SF investigates inconsistencies in his story.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll find the channel then that it was on. But anyhow, so let's see here. The fights were playful just for fun.
You went away.
Okay. Am I back here? Sometimes it'll cut out if I'm gone too long.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did I stop at?
The fights were playful just for fun.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. She says the fights were playful just for fun. The other kids, they were like mediating like the face and the headshot, so they weren't letting them like fight hardcore, you know, like blows to the face.
Right. They were refereeing so that there were no cheap shots taken.
Yeah, so it was basically like a playful fight, they're saying. Okay, so it's not like a fight club where they were like, you know, beating the hell out of each other and, you know, that kind of thing. So let's see. But you know those fights when kids are drinking and you got boys around a bunch of teenage girls trying to like prove themselves, if you will. You know what I mean? Like act tough. Those kind of like playful fights can turn serious real quick, like.
Absolutely. And the other thing is that what happened, these kids all grew up together and known each other for a lot of years. So what happens if an old crush from the 4th grade comes back and they take that opportunity? The other thing I wanted to add to on this moment was law enforcement said, or SF Investigates says, that there was a confirmed incident with Kylie at the party. We know that there was a window that was down and they didn't know if it was broken or... So what if one of those playful fights resulted in a window being broken on the car?
Did he say what the confirmed incident was or no? He just said there was a confirmed incident.
Said there was a confirmed incident. And I know that because that was a specific sticking point in that had it had changed and transitioned into something else, and he got off topic and went a different way. And it's like it was a legit sticking point on my live that night that we were like, okay, so that was a new piece of information that we hadn't garnered from anybody else, and we have to take it as factual, as he was signed in to be a searcher and he was on the ground there. So
that is interesting. And a lot of people in the chat are, you know, pretty much agree with what I'm saying. What Jane Doe number 1 and Jane Doe number 2 are saying is not new information. This has been said before. So these two people coming out, like, what was the purpose of making this video when there is no new information or no new perspective of what happened? Everybody has said the same thing.
That's a great point. Hey, Queen, are you back?
Yes, I am.
Yay! It's scary when you go away like that.
Well, no, I was trying to read that, but I didn't want to be rude. But I kept cutting out, so I was kind of waiting to see if it was me or if it was you guys. Can you hear me okay now? Like, am I clear? Okay. So anyhow, I'm going to finish reading off these little key points from Jane Doe number 2. Okay.
All right.
But first, we got a super chat. A super chat.
Oh shoot, let me see here. Law nerd, thank you. We got a super hold on. I want to say it right. How's he say it? What's he say again?
We got a super chat.
Texas Bluebonnet said, we got a Snapchat.
Right. We got a Snapchat super chat. We got a super chat. Thank you, Law Nerd. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to this. Okay, so let's see here. I don't know. I can't remember where I stopped, so I'm just going to start back in the middle again. But okay, so let's see here. The fights were playful. She said it couldn't have been an accident. Okay, here. This is where we want to start again. Jane Doe number 2 says it couldn't have been an accident, but a kid the week before had an accident up there and got his truck stuck. Let me say that again. Ready? Jane Doe number 2 says, can you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me saying this bullshit?
Yep. Yeah. Go. I'm over here. I want to hear this again.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just wanted to make sure I'm repeating it to everybody. It's not the phone didn't cut off. Okay, so let's say this again. Let me repeat this again. Jane Doe number 2 says it couldn't have been an accident. Okay, it could not have been an accident. But in the same sentence, here she goes. Ready? In the same sentence, she says, but a kid the week before had an accident up there and got his truck stuck. Really?
So how couldn't it have been an accident?
Exactly.
And again, just to point out, that's not new information. Everybody knows how rough those roads are. The potholes, we talked about that earlier when Verna was on here and she showed the video of her driving there. So it's okay. Anyways, go ahead.
I was just reading this shit off. You know what I mean? It's fine, baby. I was reading the little key points to this off. I think we got a little bit left, I think. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Sammy didn't host the party. A couple other boys did. So there's that.
Ah, damn it. She fell off.
Yeah. Yeah.
A couple other boys didn't host, or Sammy didn't host the party. A couple other boys did.
Oh, yeah. One from Truckee, one from Tahoe, and some other area.
Incline.
And then the guy from Truckee wasn't there because she thinks he had to work or something.
Right, but don't you think that maybe that's who Sammy stood in for?
Yeah, maybe. Makes sense.
Wouldn't that make perfect sense on why Sammy was so willing, and saying, hey, come to me? Like, I always felt like that was Sammy's guilt.
But
that he was involved
also,
in hosting.
What you need to stand in for, it's a high school party, not a dinner party. It's not like you have to host and keep everybody entertained. Everybody's gonna,
But if they're providing alcohol, you've got to have somebody to take control of the money, all of that type of stuff. And we saw the pictures. We saw the pictures with them having the drinks and that.
Yeah, that's true, with the little drink stand that they had.
Right. So you would have to, that would say transaction. I don't know. Maybe it's just all digital currency. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's a little bit more of advanced a party than I had when I was in high school. We didn't care about no drink stand, but to each their own, I guess.
We got a super chat. Another super chat.
Thanks, Law Nerd.
Thank you, Law Nerd. Look, Texas Bana, we have a super chat. Like Tony, in the famous words of Tony Dodge. We got a super chat.
Michael, we don't know. The woman who posted this on her YouTube is just another YouTube creator.
Well, Right. Okay. And actually, what I'm reading off is Jane Doe number 2. These are things that Jane Doe number 2 said in her interview, if you will, on Olivia's channel. I don't want to play Olivia's. I don't want to play her content because I don't want her to strike me, for playing her streams. And even under fair use, I just don't want to go there. So she does very, very good, and she does a lot of really good editing. So you guys are welcome to go over and watch them for yourselves and then tell me what you think when you're done. But anyhow, this came from this. So anyhow, it says at 10 o'clock. Did you guys catch the last part of that or no? Did you guys hear me say Jada said she only sees Kylie at parties, that she doesn't know her very well? Did you guys hear that?
I didn't.
Yeah. Oh, not from you. Not from you. No.
Okay, and then it says, here's another one. She said the ex. Okay, so Sammy didn't.
You cut off again.
Okay, I was saying about so we got down to where they said Sammy did not host the party. A couple other boys did, right? So we got that out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy did not throw the party. She didn't host the party. A couple other kids threw the party and hosted the party. That was them. It had nothing to do with Sammy. They're saying she's the one who threw the senior send-off party, and that's not true.
Right.
So we need to get that clear. We had to clear that up a little bit. So anyhow, let me go finish reading this because I didn't know how far I got with it. Let's see. Okay, so Jada said she only sees Kylie at parties, that she doesn't know her very well. So
is that the similarity?
I don't know. This is just
who is
the
Jada?
takeaway. I don't know. That's what I was wondering, if that was the other caller or if that was somebody at the party or what.
Yeah, I don't know who Jada is.
But see, this is what makes me think these callers, they're either bullshitting or they're calling just to be, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not blaming Olivia, but I'm saying I think they're.
But okay, so I guess there is new information. We never knew that 3 boys were the reason why this party happened in the first place. And I think Texas Bluebonnet said, why is Sammy taking the responsibility of being in charge of everything? That is kind of strange. If you didn't invite everybody and plan the day and all this other stuff, why did you go in front of national television practically and say, oh yeah, I was in charge of everything, and now I'm in charge of the search, and now I'm in charge of collecting evidence? Like, why are you putting yourself in that position?
Maybe she's the only one that felt like she had something that things couldn't be taken away from. Maybe she's the one who stepped up and decided to take one for the team.
Yeah.
Nope, and I'm sorry. Hold on. I just got a message. She said it was a typo. That was Jane Doe number 2. That was a typo. Not Jada. It was Jane Doe.
Jada. Jane
Not
Doe.
Jada.
Okay.
It was Jane Doe. Yeah. So she said, "Hold on, I want to correct that right now.
Perfect.
I was like,
Thank
okay,
you.
okay. So yeah, it's not Jada. There is no Jada. It just was Jane Doe number 2. It was just a typo. She didn't have a chance to finish it. She didn't know I was going to read it out like this anyway. So I just, let's see here. Okay, so at 10 o'clock, a huge group of people they didn't know showed up. At 12:30, a lot of people left. So for 2.5 hours, a lot of people were there that they didn't know, which would be probably correct with that said, because they said kids from other towns showed up.
Yep, Reno, Truckee, the Bay Area, San Francisco. Sammy stated she spoke to somebody from San Francisco.
Yeah. So it was supposed to be like a party of 50 or 60, and I think that's why Kylie probably was comfortable going. I don't know that had she known there was 300 people going to be there, she seems like one of those kids that's shy that wouldn't want to be there. Or she was like Mags and Sam, you know what I mean? Like anything like Mags, she would have probably tried to leave
No, listen, like that was told in the beginning was that Mags asked her to go to the party because Mags's mom wouldn't let her go to it.
See,
Kylie and Mags were supposed to go together. What did we learn from SF Investigates? Kylie and Mags were just in Mexico with Mags's mother the week
Wait.
prior to this.
Wait, what?
SF Investigates confirmed that Kylie and Mags the week prior were in Mexico.
Okay, yeah.
So, given that that Kylie and Mags were that close, Mags said, "My mom won't let me go to the party. Will you, unless you go with me?"
Oh, okay.
That was
Yeah.
brought out in a presser in the very beginning at
Oh, yeah.
how it went.
Yeah, I didn't know about that part, and that's kind of what I was thinking too, because she was like you guys had mentioned earlier, Kylie was supposed to be in Reno with her mom and her stepdad. And then last minute was like, I'm going to go to this party. So that would make sense. Like, oh yeah, can you come to this party so I can go? I can't go without you, you know?
Well, and I realize that we all know SF is but some, like, when you compare what he states, and he was somebody on the ground, and he's able to give us bits and pieces of actual information.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that lines up with everything else. I'm not saying it's more factual than any of the other rumors, speculation, and conjecture that's out there.
Yeah. Prayers Partners Eve said something earlier. She said that Olivia vetted these two individuals before releasing this video. But that's what I question. What do you mean by vetted, and how did she go about verifying them? You know, are they confirmed living in Truckee? Do they follow her and they were DMing each other? Like, what exactly does that mean? Because we can't see that she vetted them. We can't see that they're verified. We can't see that they live in Truckee, that they are teenagers themselves, you know? So that's what I question is why why are like, I think this is her third video where she's 3 or 4 videos where she's had individuals, like sources from the area, come to her and talk. There was one for sure about the black and white photo with the 4 females that were in the vehicle. They came to her and talked to her about that. And so now Jane Doe #1 and Jane Doe #2 are coming. Like, how is she vetting these people exactly?
I don't know, but I gotta read that last sentence to you, and then you can tell me what you guys think about it real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm gonna open it back up again real fast. 1 second. Okay, let's see here. So the last thing that it says on here was her key takeaway points here of the Jane Doe #2 interview. So she says, at 10 o'clock, a huge group of people they didn't know showed up. At 12:30, a lot of people left. Never mentioned it was due to a fight or anything like that. No reason for the exit stated, like she didn't, you know what I mean? There's no reason. There was no big fight. There was no huge, nothing crazy that went on that would have provoked everybody to leave at once. But other people are saying that there was a fight, that there was a big fight, and that's why everybody took off and left at 12:30. So.
And Jane Doe #2 states that there was a log placed across the entrance exit to the sanctuary, because as they were walking out, there was some sort of an incident there.
Like, what do you mean? Like, so a log to prevent people from leaving or coming? Why was a log placed?
All they said was there was a log placed across the road so people couldn't have gotten out from that area.
So like the second way, right? Because there's two different ways to get to the water. So they're saying probably they're trying to say they put a log there so no one would get confused and leave that way and leave the other way.
No.
Maybe?
No.
Okay.
That's not what she said. She said that there was an incident, like the truck. Yes, exactly. Texas Blue Bonnet. There was a truck and there was a log placed across the road, and I don't know why anyone would do that. I don't understand.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to make it make sense and come up with the reason why it would make sense, but yeah, I don't get it. It was a truck with music.
I'm going to look at something real quick. Hang on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because people are saying that they pulled up in the middle of the road and the kids were out like with the music playing, jumping up and down on the cars, and you know what I mean, like having a tailgate party.
So I'm right here at the part where they're talking about leaving. Do you want me just to play the audio?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let me go back just a couple seconds. Here we go.
Earlier in the night, they didn't know where they were going, so they parked down there and walked up when my friend walked up, which showed them how. But most of the cars at the actual sanctuary. A lot of cars were actually parked up at sanctuary because it's really common for kids to camp out at these parties, especially if they don't have DDs and they don't want to drive home intoxicated. They'll camp there instead and drive home in the morning when they're sober. Though that's where a lot of the cars were. I reached my ride's car around 1 in the morning, back on the pavement, and I was never passed by a car on the dirt road or saw a car on my walk to my ride.
Okay, so this Jane Doe number 2 walked all the way back to the pavement from the sanctuary.
Mopsy, thank you. Listen, they said listening while working, appreciating the chill stream. I think we got a super chat.
Okay, so here she talks about the fights.
A friend just for fun.
Okay.
I didn't want to hurt her. It was just for fun. At 12:30, the crowded jungle.
Okay, so I just wanted to see.
Uh-oh.
I didn't want to hurt someone just for fun?
Yes, right. That was what they were talking about in the fights.
Rewind that, will you please?
Yes, ma'am.
Because it's hard to hear. It's really hard to hear with the
dogs
voice changer, and no, just the voice changer and it being, you know what I mean?
Okay, sorry. Let's try this.
Those places, a lot of kids also started to pick up the glow sticks and throw them at each other, which was making some people really mad. There's also been a lot of talk about the fight that was shown on the news from that night. You can see in the picture I'm going to send you of the invitation that was sent out that night. The background of it is a picture of a fight from earlier this year at a party, because they're very common up here. People always bring boxing gloves to parties, and friends box each other for fun, but it's always friends. Like, there's never any ill intention in these matches. There are always kids mediating these box fights and are there to break them up if they need to. And there's always the biggest rule during these is you're not allowed to hit the other person in the head or the face, just because we don't actually want anyone getting injured. Like, I've personally been in a boxing match with a friend just for fun, and I didn't want to hurt her. It was just for fun. At 12:30, the crowd.
I didn't want to hurt. I've been personally in a boxing match with a friend up there. I didn't want to hurt her. It was just for fun.
Also, did you notice how she said up there? When you say up there, that's basically like implying I don't live there. I was just up there.
That you live south of wherever
Yeah.
they live, because up there indicates north.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a good catch. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, you can for a minute or two, and then we'll shut it off and play the other one.
Okay.
This is Jane Doe 1, right?
No, this is Jane Doe 2.
Yeah.
2. Okay, then we can play Jane Doe 1 then for a minute,
Okay.
after this.
Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. Here we go.
It shrunk a lot.
Okay, so I just wanted to say.
No, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear anybody else talking.
Yeah, I don't want to do that either.
I don't want their opinion. I want to go back to the video. Thank you.
There without people I knew. So I left. My ride had parked their car all the way back on the paved road, so we had to walk all the way down the dirt road to get back. While we were always walking in the same direction as us, and my ride knew them. I can't remember why he knew them, but maybe school or something. His ride went to a different school than me. And at the Y intersection, my ride and I went left of the car, and the boys went right because they had parked that way.
Can you pause it for a second?
Yep.
Okay, so people are in the chat are saying like, well, no, up there could, mean, maybe she was pointing up the hill or something like that. So we know the area pretty well based off videos and photos. We know that they're, by the water. And then if you look up, there is a hill where the campsite, the sanctuary is. So that also implies that if she's saying, oh, I didn't want to get into a fight up there, that means people were by the water where Kylie was found. Okay, that's all.
So a lot of kids had parked over by the water over there, and I'm guessing they were part of the big group of kids who showed up earlier in the night that didn't know where they were going, so they parked down there and walked up when my friend walked up.
And that would be like the ones that weren't invited, obviously, the kids that weren't invited.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The ones that heard of it from friends of a friend that.
Right. That were trying to, because they said it was not an easy place to find.
Right. That leads to support that it's not easy to find because they parked all the way down by the water.
But most of the cars at the actual sanctuary. A lot of cars were actually parked up at sanctuary because it's really common for kids to camp out at these parties. Especially if they don't have DDs and they don't want to drive home intoxicated, they'll camp there instead and drive home in the morning when they're sober.
Well, yeah, they stay there. I mean, that's why Sammy said she thought that Kylie was just going to stay the night there in her car.
I mean, that supports all of that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where a lot of the cars were. I reached my ride's car around 1 in the morning, back on the pavement, and I was never passed by a car on the dirt road or saw a car on my walk to my ride. No headlights, nothing.
This is where Kylie.
Okay. So
that you can shut that off and put on number 2, and we'll see if it sounds any. I mean, I've already read most of the key points, but we can play a minute or 2 of it. You know what I mean? Or
okay.
So just like a minute of it.
That was number 2. Let's go put on number 1.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I keep getting them confused. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No. That we just did number 2 first because that was the most recent with what was said. Okay, so let's go with girl who partied with Kylie Rodney comes forward. Is that the Jane Doe? There it is. Okay, let me mute this because we don't want commercials to play. One more commercial, guys. Sorry.
No, and I sound really shitty. People are like, oh my God, she's always so negative. She never believes anything that. No, I don't, because I've seen people faking unaliving themselves. I've seen people faking, having cancer, lying, inserting themselves and lying about it, saying that they've been talking to family members and they haven't, making shit up. It's hard to believe people because they, certain ones are, and crazy shit goes on. So
Okay, so this is Jane Doe number 1. She
All
just
right.
told Olivia that she's at a golf tournament in Nevada right now.
All right.
Here we go.
A little bit loud. I wasn't at the party, and it wasn't my first one. I was only there from like 10:30 until 11 because.
Okay, so this is Jane Doe number 1, who was only there from 10:30 to 11.
My friend had a soccer tournament in the morning.
She had a soccer tournament in the morning, so she could only be there for half an hour.
And we were only juniors at the time, so.
And at that time, they were only juniors.
We technically, it was more like a senior party.
It was more like a senior party. So juniors wouldn't have been as welcome, she's saying.
Well, yeah, because it's called a senior send-off. You know what I mean? They're sending the seniors off to college. That's what it's called, an end-of-school party. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's a senior send-off.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't have like that many senior friends.
And they didn't have that many senior friends.
I do know Kylie. She went to Forest Charter with me.
No, and that's the thing is Kylie was she was graduating 2 years early, right? That's why she was 16. So
right. And this gal just said, Jane Doe number 1 said she knew Kylie. She went to Forest Charter with me.
Right.
She was amazing. You know,
she was amazing.
She definitely hung out with a lot of drunkies, I guess you could say. They were always stoned. Don't know if she was.
You could call them potheads instead. Always stoned. Oh well. There's worse things in life.
I never really talked to her.
I don't know if she was, because I never really talked to her. So now you just contradicted yourself. You knew who she hung out with, but you didn't really know her because you never really talked to her. Sorry, Jane Doe.
She loved music class.
Anybody doing a Google search on her would assume she liked music.
That's really all I know about her. I didn't hang out with her that much. I'd say there were like, if I had to guess, like 200 people there. But I don't know because I left really early.
So if she had to guess, there were 200 people at the party, but she doesn't know because she had to leave really early.
And I was there, and I did see Kylie right before I left.
Okay, so she saw Kylie right before she left, and she was only there for 30 minutes because she had to leave really early. So that means she saw Kylie around 11.
I was like walking towards the car, and I was with my friends. One of my senior friends who's a guy, like.
So she was walking toward her car with one of her senior friends who's a guy.
He was with me the whole time. I was basically just clinging on to him because I was like scared to death.
Apparently she was scared to death to be at this party, so she was clinging on to him. That would explain why he wanted her out of there and to go home early.
Because it was my first party and there were like a lot of people that I didn't know.
Oh, and she was scared because it was her first party and there were a lot of people there that she didn't know. Well, given that she was a junior and this was the senior send-off, that makes sense.
But it also contradicts what she said earlier. You know, when I was in high school, I knew everybody. I was friends with everybody. It didn't matter who you were. I knew everything about you. Well,
yeah, and they said this is like a small town. They all grew up together, and everybody knew everybody.
Yeah, I grew up in a small town too. So, I mean, I'm talking like from kindergarten all the way to high school. I knew you. I knew everything about you. You know,
I live here now. I came back to where I grew up.
Yeah, I didn't hang out with everybody outside of school, but in school, you know, I'm always hopping around different lunch tables. Hey, how are you? You know, it didn't matter who you were. I was friends with everybody. But anyway, so in the beginning, you knew who Kylie was, didn't really know her, but you knew everybody that she hung out with. But then also at the same time, you were at this party and you didn't really know anybody.
Right. But you were clinging to a senior boy who you clung to the entire 30 minutes that you were there because you were scared, and there were a lot of people. You were scared because it was your first party and there were a lot of people there you didn't know.
Right.
Okay.
And then I was with one of my other junior friends, the one who had soccer practice in the morning.
Oh, so it was her friend that had soccer practice in the morning. So
Wait.
I thought it was a soccer tournament.
I am confused. Wait, in the beginning, did she have soccer practice in the morning or a soccer tournament in the morning?
That's what she said, but now she said that there's a friend that she was with, a junior friend that she was with, that had soccer practice in the morning.
Are they from different schools? How many schools are in Truckee?
I don't know.
And then one of my other senior friends, like the girl's older sister. And
okay, so the soccer player's older, the person with soccer practice the next morning, her older sister is a senior.
She drank a little bit. There was a lot of drinking there.
So maybe that's why she felt like she could go and join the party, you know?
Right. But the friend that had the soccer practice the next morning drank a little bit. This gal didn't drink anything because...
I didn't drink anything because I'm a Christian.
I'm a Christian.
And I don't like drinking.
And I don't like drinking, but I only drink in Spain.
Oh, okay. This is the I only drink in Spain girl.
Yes. I'm a Christian. I don't like drinking. I only drink in Spain.
Only drink in Spain. Yeah, that's all the information I have because I wasn't really active at the party. I literally sat by a tree.
Wait, she sat by a tree. She was clinging to a senior boy because she was scared to death. And she was only there for 30 minutes because she was there with her friend who had soccer practice the next morning.
With my friend who had soccer practice in the morning, and we sat there like...
Wait, I have a question real quick.
Yes.
So she only drinks in Spain, so she's at least 18, because you can't drink any younger than that.
Oh,
and
that's
she's a junior.
Point.
Unless,
that's a great point.
Unless she's trying, I mean, we're putting the thing is, we're putting a lot of implements into like her speech. We keep trying to make it make sense. So you only drink in Spain. If you're a junior in high school, that means you're traveling with your family. So your parents allow you to drink in Spain. That's the only time you've ever drank. Yeah, but the way she makes it sound is, oh yeah, only in Spain, as if like, oh yeah, I go there on the weekend, but only there.
Right. I agree with that. But I would rather judge this than judge the friends, or I mean, I would rather judge if I'm gonna judge something when it comes to this, I would rather judge an anonymous person that's come forward, because all we're doing is judging the words.
Yeah. And
we don't know who it is.
We don't know who this is.
Okay. Oh, so they sat underneath a tree judging people that were drinking, judging the people that we knew that didn't know us.
We knew they didn't know us because we'd like stalk them on social media. We'd be like, oh my.
Oh,
they were sitting under a tree laughing and talking shit about the kids that were drinking and acting a fool.
Because they stalked them on social media. We would be like, oh my gosh, who is this teen boy?
Oh my gosh, there's this teen boy. Oh my gosh.
So essentially, they had stalked all of these other people that go to these parties on social media, and wasn't this one dating that one and this one dating this, you know what I'm saying? Like, so they didn't know them other than their social media presences. Weird.
Wait. Somebody's JD said because in Spain you can be 16 to purchase it and drink it.
Oh.
So maybe she's just legally not trying to admit to drinking on, you know what I mean? Just in case her name got leaked or something, if she is a...
Okay.
Big
So now she's only there 20 minutes and they're like, okay, let's leave. And then we went home and watched Netflix.
Yeah, I know this is kind of a long audio recording. I would prefer it if my identity were kept a secret, but thank you.
In this,
So that's
I was saying earlier, I looked it up. In 2009 they changed the legal age to be a minimum of 18 years of age. Now, it also says that yes, younger kids do drink, but it's frowned upon. So they don't enforce anything basically in Spain. Can you hear me?
cultural. So it's
Culturally.
cultural basis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That is interesting, though. To me, I think they're the same person. Jane Doe, number 1. Jane Doe, number 2.
Well, what if Jane Doe number 1 is the friend that had soccer practice? Or what if Jane Doe number 2 is the friend that had soccer practice?
Yeah. Like another junior, you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Possibly.
A fringe friend.
Friends can sound alike, too. I remember me and my best friend, we talk just alike.
Queen.
Queen might not be here.
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep, that's
Okay.
the end of that. That was the audio message that she left her from Jane Doe
So
number
what?
1.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm still having a hard time even believing that that's. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think?
I think it's probably just like a fringe friend, like what she said. I don't think that she really knew Kylie. I mean,
So you think
go ahead.
these girls are telling the truth that they was really there?
No,
I mean,
I don't.
20 minutes, maybe they went for show. I don't know. I honestly, why would you come forward afterwards?
Right. See, the reason why I don't think these girls were there, or even in Truckee for that matter, is because they're not saying anything that hasn't already been said. Even here on Queen Bee's channel, we talked about possibly camping, Kylie camping in the back of her vehicle and then it accidentally rolling into the water. We've had this conversation more than a week ago.
Right.
There's also multiple channels that have said the same thing. Maybe was she camping? And Sammy also mentioned that in the beginning of this case as well, that she thought Kylie was camping. So nothing is really new. The only new thing that we heard is that 3 boys organized this party. I have not heard that anywhere. That's it.
That's really one of the only things that I garnered from it either. Also, I
Right.
just don't, and the other thing is, we don't know. The teens may not have come forward on social media, but we don't know if teens didn't come forward to law enforcement, as law enforcement is not bound to tell the public anything. And number 2, the mothers, like, people have seen what social media is doing to this.
Mm-hmm.
So it might have been a case of they said, give it to law enforcement, don't talk to social media, lock everything down because the YouTube mobs are coming for you. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah. And NorCal girl makes a really good point. Like, she thinks they're real, but maybe they're just repeating stories that they heard. That's a good possibility too, because being from a small town, if I heard something happen over the weekend and my friend was telling me, I get an idea of what it is like there. Like, oh
Yep.
yeah, I've been there before. Oh, that's what they did. Oh, word, they did this. So it's like, oh yeah, you kind of feel a part of it because y'all are so close. Everybody's so close in the town. Even if you're not like hanging out with the person, you still know things and their mannerisms and what they would do or what they would not do. So I don't know.
And I agree with Captain. I just find it odd that they keep coming to Olivia. And why wouldn't they? Obviously, even what they did say wasn't going to be life changing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, even law enforcement wouldn't have found it life-changing, you know? And again, I don't agree with coming forward on social media. Go
No.
to law enforcement with your information.
Yep.
Stay off social media because it's not going to help.
Mm-mm.
Not when you're going for the justice route. Because think about it. The more messes that social media makes of these cases, the less ability to get justice should something be deemed nefarious like they all want it to be deemed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. I'm ready for Kylie to be at rest. I'm so ready for her to be at rest.
Dude, we had 3 missing people in my county. As of today, we have 5.
Wow.
Granted, one is a hunter. That generally happens. But we also now have a 18-year-old boy that just come up missing. I don't
Yeah.
live in that big of an area. Like a town of 1,700. 5 missing people in one county?
There was this, I didn't know about this story, but I found out about it yesterday. There was this 3-year-old girl. She's Muslim, and she's been missing since December. And my heart broke. She was just taken from her,
Oh,
the playground at where she lives. And I'm like, how come this story isn't out? How come we're not looking for her? Because she doesn't have blonde hair, blue eyes? It's not fair. Just too much.
listen, one of my favorite podcasts, The Prosecutors, one of the best advices that both Brett and Alice give, if you're innocent, that's all the more reason to get an attorney. Period. The end. If you're innocent, it's all the more reason to get an attorney. That from 2 prosecuting attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
Let that sink in just for a moment.
I agree. Because police can coerce a confession out of you when you are innocent. They can use your words against you. So if you aren't good with speaking, maybe you have a little bit of anxiety, maybe you're fumbling with your words, they will use that against you. Get a lawyer, even if you are innocent. But y'all, good chatting with y'all. Let me go play with my baby because she's in there bored. She's with the nanny. Don't be judging me, y'all, okay? She's with her nanny. But I need to spend time with her too, okay?
Yeah, that pisses me off too. Like, it makes me feel so sad. Like a lot of, like I just like I don't see how people can argue it. Like a lot of the cases that get media coverage tend to be women that are blonde hair and blue eyed and fit that quote unquote beauty standard. And it's just, and of course there's a couple cases that are thrown in there that are not, but it just sure feels that way sometimes, you know.
Cappy, I have a case where a 27-year-old African American young man came all the way from Washington D.C. to where I live in northern Wyoming to meet up with Kanye West and disappeared. Why is that not like, hello?
What? To meet up with Kanye?
Yeah. Yep. Devontae Richardson was coming out here to meet up with Kanye because Kanye owns 2 ranches out in where I live.
And Kanye knew he was coming and all that stuff, right?
We don't know. Like that's something
that needs to be so talked about. Oh my God.
They say, you know, I don't know. He never made it here. We never talked to him. Prove it. His cell pings say different. Yes.
That's scary.
I've covered it. I've covered it.
Oh my God. I need to look into that.
I've also got dog teams coming back in October.
That's scary sounding.
We now have 5 missing people.
And you don't live in that big of a place, right?
No. I'm 98 minutes from Yellowstone's front door.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So he's coming out to meet Kanye.
Yep.
And we don't know if Kanye was expecting him or not.
One-sided tweets is what they say.
Whoa.
Tweeting his people all the way.
That's weird. That's super weird.
His Jeep, listen to this one. Had the Jeep been parked going with the flow of traffic instead of against the flow of traffic, if it would have been parked on the other side of the road, FBI would have come in immediately. But it was parked on the opposite side of the road, which is considered M.I. Swanko mine property, Bentonite mine property. So they didn't bring in feds because it was on the private side of the land, not the federal side.
Oh my God.
Oh, and the best one was DC. Yes, he was an aspiring rapper, Ali. DC couldn't understand the vastness of remoteness of where it was the Jeep was found. They wanted like an exact address, and so the law enforcement out here, instead of just dropping a GPS into here's the location of the Jeep, they went and took pictures from looking all four ways and said, where do you want us to give you an address at?
What?
Oh, it's crazy. I've got it all though. Mm-hmm.
That's a good point, Pecan and Allie writes. I wonder if these kids are taught. I don't know. I don't feel like they probably got permission. I can't say for sure, of course. It's all alleged, and it's my opinion, but I don't know. As hush hush as all these kids have been, I just don't see mom and dad being like, yeah, talk to this YouTuber that shows up at people's houses. You
Allie,
know what
no
I mean?
way. I wouldn't do that. No way. I live here. I wouldn't want to tag him in any of that. My name's already been on the front page of a couple of newspapers doing stuff for this, but no, I don't really want to take that much. Mm-mm.
Yeah, because listen, if someone was to do research, if these parents were to do research of these kids, of Jane Doe and Jane I Only Drink in Spain Doe, if their parents were to do research into Olivia and her little crew, they would be like, abort mission. Do not talk to this bitch. She will come to our house.
Bringing her Sue Happy buddy and her bullhorn buddy.
Yes, exactly. Hell no.
And so many people are so quick to forget that this is the same crew of people that told Candace Wells she killed her child.
Mm-hmm. And screaming on their bullhorn, you're a criminal. You need to be in jail. You're criminals. We're not the criminals. Meanwhile, they all have mugshots except for Olivia.
Well, and then Olivia's the one who supposedly found the water bottle that was Gabby.
Yeah.
And don't forget, they all met up when they were all screaming outside the laundry residence that, where's Gabby Petito?
Yeah, we never really got to the bottom of that water bottle situation, did we?
No, but how is it that she found Gabby Petito's water bottle? They were so close in the Kylan and Crystal Schulte murders, and now somebody from the Kylie Rodney mystery, two somebodies, have come to say.
Give me a break. I'm not buying this bullshit. Someone in the chat earlier was like, maybe because Olivia puts in the work. Yeah, that's what her and her crew like to put out there so they get the donos. Like, oh, we're out here moving mountains and we work really hard. You guys take vacations and walk around and yell on a bullhorn. Don't get it twisted. Looking for shit.
Looking for shit. That's exactly what they're doing, is
looking for shit. Exactly. But I'm just not buying it. Like, they're so like, oh my god, the intro she made, that Olivia made for her and the fucking Heels on the Ground crew. where fucking one of them slips on the ice and falls, and then JLR has like garbage bag waiters walking through a swamp. Oh, it's the best. Such a good cringe watch. It's hilarious.
I don't know. I'm still salty over being insinuated that a whole bunch of donation of super chats, cash apps, PayPals were going to go to cover the cost of a trip to Tennessee, and then start a nonprofit that my name was going to be attached to, and then we all know how that one rolled out.
Yeah, that got crazy. So they raised money to go to Tennessee, and then didn't Molly end up bankrolling a lot of that trip?
IDK didn't go. I was in my own fresh hell that MGL created for me.
Right. See, that's the thing. Like the spy pens and shit. Like, the fuck they need those for? To be recording where they're not supposed to?
Well, that was a whole BHB thing on a wish list that they had built.
Right.
So, like I said, I have questions why it is, how it is that these people, these anonymous people, they want to come and tell this young girl these stories, but yet, what credit do you bring when you obscure everything and we know what you came from and the bad things that you've done?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I have a big problem with the past. Like, remember how far out of proportion she blew that toy knife that was in front of the church? Like, look at this, you guys. Like, I just can't, dude. She's
What
a good
about
editor.
filming Robin's minor child?
Yeah, what about that, right? Some sick shit. Really sick. Anyways, I gotta jump down. I love you, Queen. Good talking to you, voices.
Thank you. I'm the same. I'm gonna have to hop off here and get some stuff done.
I'm gonna get some stuff
spent
done
my
too, but
entire morning on the internet.
right. All right. I love you, Queen. I'm gonna jump down. Thanks for having me up.
I love you too, baby. I'm sorry. I was trying to get my little one. It's school time, so.
All right. I'll talk to you later, girl. Bye, voices.
Right.
Bye, Captain. Queen, thanks for having this great panel today. This has been amazing. I hope people watch it.
Yes, I hope they get something from it because people do watch, but it's like, we all take things in differently. We all think about stuff differently, and maybe people will bring some stuff to light that we don't know, or that can help the kid, especially Sammy, because she's getting a lot of hate too.
None of those
death threats and stuff like that. I really hope they stop.
Mm-hmm. I really think that people need to stop and pull themselves back and check their emotions, because one of the biggest things I feel is that people's emotions are overriding the actual facts and the factual information that we know. And you get caught up, and it's like it becomes the mob mentality. And let's just pull back and wait a minute, take a breath. But thanks for having me up. You have a great rest of your day, Queen.
You too, baby. Thank you for coming up. Thank you for hanging out. Well, guys, unless there's somebody else that wants to come up, I'm going to go ahead and end it here, and we can get on here later or something. I got my little to pick up, so it's going to be kind of quiet anyways, or I'll have to pop in and out. So, oh, burden of proof. Okay, she's the strike queen. Well, then hell with that. We ain't gonna play that shit. Okay, guys. Well, I will talk to you guys here after a bit then. Maybe we can pop on later.